Welcome to Pub Sports Radio. This is the Loshak in the Bag show for Tuesday, May 31st. He's Jimmy the Bag. I'm Peter Loshak. We do this show every Tuesday. It's a lot of fun. Jimmy the Bag, I did well overall in the NHL playoffs so far, but I'll admit I had Carolina big last night. I'll admit I had first period under last night. Big, had a big loss. Sports betting, the ups and downs, the high watermarks, and baseball, baseball really is the most weighted coin flip game out of any of these games that we handicap. Yesterday, I had Tampa Bay to score first and first three and first five. It would have been great, except the Texas outfielder robbed in the first inning Tampa Bay of a 3-run homer that would have changed the entire game. I'm probably going to be taking it a little bit easy in MLB right now until right around the All-Star break, which means making bets but betting lower than normal. And if there's something that I like, going 2 or 3 times the bet size, but if it loses, that's okay. But nothing huge, nothing crazy, as opposed to the second half of the MLB season where I probably will be betting a little bit huge and a little bit crazy. How you doing, Jimmy the Bag?
I'm doing excellently. Everything is falling into place here. I've hit 10 of my last 11 in NHL.
Really? Who'd you have last night, tough guy?
Nobody. Nothing.
Really? You passed? Okay. All right. Okay.
I was just running so hot, and I was like, did not feel comfortable with it. I won, I'm going to win 2 hockey pools now that the Rangers won, so that'll pay $1.6K. And I have a perfect situation with futures on the Avalanche and the Lightning. So I was very curious to see because I'm $200 parlay on the Oilers and the Rangers to win their series. Pays out just a little under $1,500, which covers everything. So I'm still profitable in my futures. And then sit back and just watch the money come in. Game 6 in Colorado, I called as well as I've called any game this year. And then I did the same in game 6 in New York. And I was like, you know what? I had a poker game last night. I was like, you know what? Just sit back and be fat and happy for once. Mm-hmm. And that's what I did. I enjoyed the game. I sat back and it felt wonderful. I went 2-1 in MLB. I lost $200 on the first hand in poker. I came back and ended up $200. So it was a nice little climb back. I just everything's coming together. I feel good. I hit a low watermark in MLB a week ago. I've got back 7 units. So I'm now I'm not good. It's not good. 83 and 85, 49.4% down 9.85 units. ROI minus 5.86%. Look, it's not good. But NHL is glorious. I'm 18 and 10 in the playoffs, 64.3% plus 9.37 units, ROI plus 33.46%, average line plus 105, and I'm on a 10 and 1 plus 10.03 unit run.
Very nice.
And NBA, I'm up double digits. It's all going swimming. It's not going perfectly as Caffeine never does, but it's going swimmingly.
It's you got to bet size appropriately. I probably bet Carolina a little bit too big yesterday, but I bet the home team every game in that series. So, I went 6-1. It seems in retrospect that what happened was that Antti Ranta got fatigued. And I read some articles suggesting that would be the case. I keep a daily diary, which is actually fun and interesting to do and actually helps in my betting. Make sure you use full words, not abbreviations, so that you can search back in your document years back if you want. But I keep a daily diary of my thoughts every day in sports betting. And the thought that I put down there was that, look out for fatigued goalies in playoff series. It seemed like that was clearly the factor that I missed. And I did see it hinted at in articles. Is that what happened yesterday? Is that why Carolina got blown out?
No.
No?
I mean, sure, that's part of it. I mean, there's there's just not one reason. I think the main thing was that Carolina proved during the playoffs with being unable to win a road game that they were just vulnerable. Just vulnerable. Sebastian Aho wasn't being an elite centerman. Svechnikov made 1 play in the entire series. So now who's bringing is Seth Jarvis is your offensive talent here. The fact that they were incapable of winning a game on the road proves that that they're
weren't
vulnerable.
they outplaying the Rangers the entire series, and the Rangers were just getting saved by Shesty and a little bit of goal luck?
And then great goaltending and power plays. We talked about how that even Birdie came in the chat and said that was capable of winning a series. It was something I believed in, but I got kind of the 5-on-5 stuff got in my head that we talked about during the year.
Right.
So overall, they were just vulnerable. That's all. That's all they like. I didn't pick them in Game 7 at home. There was no reason to believe in them as a big favorite. If you can't go on the road and win one playoff game over 2 series, you don't deserve to be in the Eastern Conference Final.
Interesting stuff. Jimmy the Bag. Right. Well, I got, last week my look for luck didn't really work. This week I got a new look. It's kind of 90s college kid look. I don't know if you can see that, but I got like a little Bob Marley shirt here. So I got Bob Marley shirt, a beard, and a hat that I could even turn backwards. And now I look like, except for the old face and the extremely receding hairline, a college kid. So that's the look for luck for this week. We'll see if this brings any luck. And if I have a winning day today, this will be the same look that I will use next week and use every week until I have a losing day. It'll be 90s college kid. Although I think college kids still have this look, right? College kids still have fucked up hair covered with a hat and then an old Bob Marley shirt, right? That's a college kid look even today, or no?
I don't know. I wouldn't know. I have my Richard Pryor shirt on, so I'm feeling good. I'm feeling relaxed.
Sounds good. All right.
I'm ready to rock and roll. I'm really excited. I'm really excited about this week. I'm excited about the NHL playoffs. I'm excited about the NBA Finals. I've already made a bet on tonight's NHL game. I've already made a bet on Game 1 of the NBA Finals. I feel pretty comfortable in the way I'm seeing both of those situations there. And then I am excited about baseball. I got to do the Say Hey plays of the day yesterday with Jose. Jose cashed with the Pittsburgh Pirates. Huge dog line against the Dodgers. I was very impressed with the call. And I enjoyed it. I went 2-1 on this show, and I'm ready to fire away. It's great to see everybody. Viper NB in the house. Viper NB Avs Dodgers parlay plus 102 over 9.5 and minus 1.5 raised money line. Boston Red Sox over 8.5 is what he's locked in so far. So I'm going to copy and paste that so I can review Vipers action. Dennis Garcia says Rangers have faced the opponent starting goalie once in 14 playoff games. No team runs better. That is absolutely true, Dennis. The Rangers have been very fortunate. They have we thought that Panarin was the top end talent on that team. It's not. It's Zibanejad. He's the straw that stirs the drink. It's Zibanejad. Kreider also is the goal scorer, and Panarin is not being very good in the playoffs. Adam Fox, spectacular defenseman. Both Cale Makar and Adam Fox have come out of college, American college hockey, which is a new thing where the best defensemen in the world are coming out of American college hockey. It says a lot about the status of American college hockey. And Dennis says Colorado to win Game 1 in the series. Colorado minus 1.5, minus 2.5. Colorado to win 4-0 plus 760. And I'm with him. I didn't. I think that we'll get into that game. We'll get into that game when it does. But I'm with Dennis Garcia completely. Vero Video in the house. Fap Win said it's my birthday this week. Can I get a Loshak birthday pick? I will copy and paste that because you know what, Pistol Pete Loshak, it's not just Fap Win's birthday.
Yeah.
Also Nasty Nate's birthday today.
Oh, shit. All right.
Yeah. Now, he was fishing drunk at midnight to celebrate last night, so I don't know if he's going to show up here on the show, but we have to give him a birthday pick regardless. Top set, Elio, I've been thinking about you, man. We've missed you. NATO World Order, Bruce, Shad, Jimmy Gomez, Bully Ball says Warriors in 6, Warriors in Game 1. I was very interested in Warriors Game 1 Celtics series, and I couldn't believe, Pete, it was only paying plus 425. I thought to make that kind of call, you should get 8-1, but no. Serious Business, Michael Irvelina, Ronnie and Bergia, Spenny, Penny Bombs, D. Jenkins, Saturated, Johnny K, De Niro, Jeffrey Moore, Victor Abud. What a great group. In Opfa. I love capping with In Opfa. Spenny says Igor shut it down. The Rangers are playing some good hockey right now. Interesting to see this goalie battle of Vasilevsky versus Shesterkin. It's going to be very, 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 very fun. Dennis Garcia has a couple tennis looks. Zverev and Nadal, both on the money line. Ron Crawford ready to go. Matty Ice started play today. Real Deal Prime. So many great cappers. Red Girl, Walla Walla Dose. I wish I could give you all individually a shout out. Kenny V, Robert Freeney says, Loshak, Robert Freeney needs a birthday pick.
I know.
Okay,
all right. So we got 3.
Ooh-wee. All right, let's get that going.
I mean, if I get 3 birthday picks, one of them's got to hit, And shout out to the soccer guys from last week, because I did have a winner with that play, capping the cappers, and that was just a classic capping the cappers situation. Great analysis by those 2 guys, and my analysis capping the cappers was dead on as well. Jimmy the Bag, did you bet that game?
I did not. Jose on one side, Flash on the other, but I did not. I was happy to see that first half draw cash, because Jose was very confident on that. No, I did not. I just kind of, these days, winning is so crucial that I have to stay in my lane, and if I'm going to go down on anything, it has to be with my decisions, because there's not extra cash to play around with.
I know you have a family, Jimmy the Bag, but I have to pay for dates with Bumble MILFs, Tinder MILFs, Hinge MILFs, plenty of fish MILFs. So put yourself in my shoes for just 1 second, Jimmy the Bag. I need money too here, guy.
Those are probably some pretty sexy shoes.
You have any idea how much it costs to take MILFs out on dates? All right, so I need money as well. We got Robert Freeney, who needs to have his rent paid. So we got some work to do, Jimmy the Bag. You want to get to it?
We have some work to do, but before we do, just to give everybody a hint of what's to come here with 3 birthday picks. Coming, but as you know, Pistol Pete takes these birthday picks very, very seriously. So he will all show long to figure out what exactly is his best angles. Let's get right to work, Pete. NHL West Finals Game 1. I have not been in this glorious of a future situation in many moons since 2017, really, and even that wasn't this glorious. This is the best it's ever been in my life, really. I mean, I don't have the biggest price payouts, but to have both my teams that have conference finals and Stanley Cup Finals futures, I mean, it's just forget about it. It's glorious. But let's take it away. Set a table for us. Oilers, Avalanche, Ball Arena, Denver, Colorado.
Man, these Bumble MILFs are just killing me, Jimmy the Bag. They're eating me alive. This game, I was just like, I'm just going to wait to hear what Jimmy the Bag has to say about this, because
look at this here.
What
Michael Anderson. It's his birthday as well.
All right.
I love it.
Mm-hmm.
May 31st is a great day. So we got Rob Freeney, Fap, Michael Anderson, and Nasty Nate celebrating birthdays today. Okay, so did you just wanted to sit back and
well, I mean, I'll tell you why. At this point now, I feel like I have a pretty good read on the NHL regular season. I've always had a pretty good read on the NHL playoffs in the early rounds. In this game, though, Colorado and Edmonton, I don't know how to handicap this. Obviously, both teams are awesome offensively. So my first thought would be maybe take a shot with the over or the first period over. But we saw in the Tampa Bay, Florida series that 2 great offensive teams meeting up in the playoffs does definitely not always mean, high scoring and auto bet the first period and full game overs. This is obviously a different matchup. So we're probably not going to see. I mean, Tampa Bay it can be great defensively when they need to be. But so can Colorado. But Colorado is also so explosive offensively. My first thought on this one would be just a no-brainerishly take first period and maybe full game overs, but I definitely didn't bet that. Just want to hear what you have to say about it. And my second thought on this game was Colorado obviously should be the favorite, but should they be this big of a favorite? I don't know. It's a matter of power rankings, I guess. Dennis Garcia likes Colorado. What's your take on this one, Jim?
I can't wait for my take on this one because I've been thinking about it for days and days and days. So the initial
would you agree that the questions that I struggled with were the appropriate questions to struggle with in this? No?
Yes, I don't have any concern with how big the Avalanche are favorites because I think the St. Louis Blues are a better hockey team than the Edmonton Oilers. So
really?
Yes. So from that standpoint, I have no concern of the Avalanche being up anywhere between minus 170 and minus 185.
So
favorites here.
Edmonton beat Calgary 4-1, and you would still rank St. Louis as a better team.
Markstrom has never stepped up in the playoffs before, and now that weight will hang around the Calgary Flames' neck until he's able to do that. When the Canucks flourished in the playoffs, it was with the Iron Lady behind the between the pipes. So at this point, we had Johnny Gaudreau, who is thank you. There she is in her glory. We've had Johnny Gaudreau, who's never stepped up in the NHL playoffs before, having the season that we always dreamt he was capable of, and then not putting it together in the playoffs. Matthew Tkachuk, he's got more time to figure this out. You have Elias Lindholm. They say Lindholm is a Selke winner. Well, he doesn't deserve to be a Selke winner if McDavid's balls drip down his throat that far. So the Flames, their defense. I knew their defense wasn't very good, but to see how bad they were, I knew that having Goodbranson in the top six was a sign that their defense is bad. Also, Goodbranson brings no toughness whatsoever. I didn't realize the Flames were as bad, but I knew that the Blues were good and dangerous, and they could easily have beaten the Avalanche in this series. So,
and they got a little injury unlucky as well, didn't they? Right?
No doubt. Well, yeah, with Krug out, that would hurt so much, and then you lose Binnington. So, right. I mean, yeah, it's So Johnny K says, I don't think anyone's stopping McDavid. So let's get to work. Kyle Hintley in 1750 on the Avs. There's Noli Knows on the in the chat. By the way, Noli Knows making his MLB debut finally, long-awaited 2022 MLB season debut tomorrow on the show. So I can't wait to have him on the show. Okay, so the first thing I said was that, man, as soon as this 6.5 comes out, I'm going to bet the over. And maybe I was simplifying things. But it came out Saturday night at 1:15 in the morning, and I can't. I had my nephew's birthday, so it was beautiful sunshine. We were drinking. I tried to stay awake long enough for this to come out, and I didn't make it. So by the time I, shook my head and was like trying to look at the line, it had already moved to minus 135. So I didn't want to start my Western Conference Final with a minus 135 on the over. And then this last night it moved to 7. The over 7 is at plus 110. But I started thinking about this situation a little deeper, and I thought there's no other team in the NHL that has options as to how they're going to play McDavid. No one. And the Avalanche have options. They have Kadri, who desperately wants to shadow McDavid all over the ice. He's begging Bednar, begging him, please, please, please let me shadow him all over the ice. Now, that's tricky because then you have Kadri out there for 30 minutes. And do you want that? Are you going to have to change that line? Because he's got Rantanen and Nishushkin with him, which may not be the guys that you want playing 30 minutes against McDavid. Or do you have McKinnon, Landeskog, and Lehkonen on McDavid as much as possible to force McDavid to play defense? So when McDavid's on the ice, actually be as offensive as you possibly can. Because we haven't seen McDavid play much defense. We see teams worried about McDavid on the ice and backing up, and maybe, trying to have 5 guys back. Maybe that the opposite should be done. Maybe you should try to make McDavid play as much defense as possible. So you have Kadri, who has shut down McDavid, a much younger McDavid, a much less powerful McDavid. He has done it before, and he's begging for the opportunity to show the world that he can do it again. And Spenny says Kadri can't skate with McDavid. Not even close. Was there as big of a speed differential the last time these teams met? In the playoffs, at that time, like if you go back to 2017, Kadri was still quite a bit slower than McDavid, and Kadri completely shut him down. Now you could say, look, everything's changed. McDavid can fly now, and blah, 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 blah. And that's all valid. He's tougher, whatever. But Kadri's done this before and is begging for the opportunity to show everybody that he can do it again. So here we have McDavid and Draisaitl with 26 points apiece, but that doesn't really tell the story. Draisaitl's a +7. McDavid is a +19. McDavid is the best player, in the league, and Draisaitl probably isn't second. Darnell Nurse is second on the team with a +11, but he's only playing 21 minutes and 18 seconds a game. I wonder why that is. Is that because Darnell Nurse is still sort of dealing with injuries? Is what happens when Darnell Nurse plays 26 minutes a game? I'll tell you something. I said the Calgary Flames defense this week. There's a weak defenseman on every one of the Oilers units. Cody Ceci on the top line, Duncan Keith on the second line, Tyson Barrie on the third line. I find them all defensemen that won't be on a Stanley Cup winning hockey team. And if they didn't have Nurse, I think they would be in big trouble. Big trouble. Spenny says, come on, Jimmy. McDavid's a different beast. Kadri will get penalties after getting pissed away. McDavid. Okay, sure, Spenny. Sure. And Dubas thought trading for Barrie was a good idea. You absolutely. Dennis is right. Dennis is right. Trading that trade with Joe Sakic wanted Barrie out of the dressing room so badly to get him away from these spectacular defensemen, young defensemen that he had, especially in Cale Makar. And I think that Tyson Barrie is a problem, a weakness. Now, sure, on the power play, he can look pretty good. Who doesn't look good on the McDavid and Draisaitl power play? So I think there's a weak defenseman on every one of the Oilers' spots with Ceci, Keith, and Barrie. And then you have Evander Kane being released by San Jose. It was a very fortunate situation that they could get the leading goal scorer in the NHL playoffs the way they did. And I think that even without Samuel Girard, we've seen Bowen Byron step up. We've seen the importance of Josh Manson. At defense, we know the Avalanche are better than the Oilers. But look at this. Look how deep this Avalanche forward group is. We talked about McKinnon, Landeskog, and Lehkonen, Kadri, Rantanen, and Nichushkin. You have J.P. Compher and Burakovsky and Audrey Kubel on the third line. On the fourth line, your fourth line, this is how you win Stanley Cups. You have Cogliano and Helm. They played 199 playoff games between the two. Darren Helm won a Stanley Cup. Cogliano lost the Stanley Cup in 2019 and almost played in a couple other Stanley Cup finals, which he didn't. This team is just deep as the ocean. And they have options with how to play McDavid. And those of you who think that McDavid is a different beast and Kadri can't do it, I think that you are wrong. I think that you are wrong. Now, look, no one can completely shut down McDavid, but I don't know of a center who is probably better for this than Kadri, and he relishes the opportunity, and he's just begging Bednar every day, supposedly nonstop. Please let me shadow McDavid. Please let me shadow McDavid. He's telling everyone around him, just let me shadow McDavid. And I love that shit. I love when a player wants it like that. And we've seen how he's handled adversity. He because of his Lebanese descent, he gets all these horrific racial comments made towards him by I mean, we don't want to call them St. Louis Blues fans because it's not fair, but by some people. And what's he do? He's 6 points, 4 goals in the 2 games in St. Louis. He's a fucking boss, man. He's a spectacular hockey player. And I'm on the Avalanche game 1, -1. Confidently, Ron Crawford, NHL spreadsheet, play of the day is Colorado regulation.
Sounds like you're not necessarily looking for explosive scoring in game 1, as many people in the comments section are. If Kadri is just going to, if the goal is going to shut down or limit McDavid as much as possible, then maybe we see a lower scoring game. Colorado's game 2 against Nashville was extremely low scoring, and 2 of their 3 home games against St. Louis were very low scoring. Can you imagine the Avalanche winning a game 6 in St. Louis to make the West Final without any of their top 6 forwards scoring a point? That's a team of depth. That's a team that's going to roll. So you have no sense on the total. You're not liking the over. I don't like at 6.5 at -120. The more and more I thought about it, the more I thought the Avalanche can wear down McDavid by being offensive and having Kadri on him, and then anytime you want, you get the McKinnon line to, the only thing I can't wait to see what Bednar does is what's he going to do with Rantanen and Nichushkin, because you probably want Landeskog out there with Kadri. You probably want to switch the wingers every 30 seconds, but leave Kadri out on the ice. So I want to
I want to watch this first game. Because I'm so hot right now in NHL, it made me not want to bet Game 7, and it changed. And I thought about how I was going to bet this game for 3 days. I thought about it more than any other game by far of the year. So I just think.
And what do you think about the Colorado team total over? I mean, St. Louis. The 2 home games they played against St. Louis, the first 2 held them under 3.5. Both of those games.
I looked at the Oilers team total under. I've looked. There's been a lot that I've. Oh, by the way, there's been a 5-cent move in the last 30 minutes towards the full game under 7. I've looked at the team totals and everything. I looked at everything and I thought, man, the easiest bet by far is the Avalanche -1. And it's just by far the easiest bet. And so that's the only bet I'm making. And I don't care that I have futures on it and I could compound losses. It's the easiest bet that I think is on the board. So
yeah, you know what? You can make that official for me. I'll tell you on that. I've listened to your analysis. I've looked at the comments section. I'll go for that. I'll use the Heritage lines right now, which is -182 on the money line and 137 on the puck line, and that comes to -119. So we can make that official for me, Jimmy the Bag. Colorado -1, -119. I'll take that.
This is, to me, okay, I've got you in there for Pete. To me, this is the Avalanche have had their near misses and their learning experiences and why they weren't good enough. And now the Oilers get to have theirs. So I think this is going to be what do we have to do to get to the Stanley Cup final, and there'll be some soul searching. But look, the Oilers are going to be a very tough out forever until McDavid is 38. The Oilers are going to be a very, very, very tough out. But this is not the year where they're going to take care of business.
But you don't like Colorado Avs team total over 3.5 at like -130 or 135 or whatever.
I just don't think there's a need for it. If you are shutting down and frustrating McDavid by making him play defense and having Kadri shadow him, then a 3-1 victory is fine. So I don't like the juice associated with it.
At Will Hill, it's only -130.
And I think North Ender and Spenny and those of you saying the Avs did not look impressive last round, you guys are right. The St. Louis Blues have a Stanley Cup pedigree, and they were really good. And the Avalanche did not look good and beat them in 6 games and won all 3 games in St. Louis. All 3 games on the road, and they did not look good. What does that mean? The first thing I think of is the Blue Jays are 22-20, batting 179 with runners in scoring position with the hardest schedule in the league. What does that tell you? It tells you they're the best team in the league. Now, I don't know if the Avalanche are better than the Lightning because they haven't done it before. But the fact that the Avalanche could not look very good, win all 3 games in St. Louis, tells me that they are very good.
Yes. And Edmonton isn't that impressive defensively, are they?
No, I mean, I just went over the 3. They're going to figure out that they need to, and so are the Flames. Like both teams just played each other. We're like, holy shit, our defense sucks, and they're going to figure that out. And and yes, I'm on the -1.
And you can add on Colorado Avalanche team total over 3.5. I'm going to use the Will Hill line, which is just -130. Right now, it's -152 at Pinnacle, but just -130 at Will Hill. So I will take that one. It's actually you can have an arbitrage there. It's the under 3.5 is +132 at Pinnacle, -130 at Will Hill currently. I just bet it.
You are locked and loaded. Some questions about Pete's average line in NHL.
Very shitty.
No, not at all. No, you haven't. It's not been bad at all. But there was a question. It's -112. That is the highest average line that we've ever had working. You've ever had working, with us. But you're 81 and 73. You're hitting at 52.6%. Okay. You are down 4.34 units because a couple of the big spreads.
Yeah, I took a whole bunch of overs, and they all lost in the last round of the playoffs. Yeah, learned my lesson there.
Nut flush. My thought with the 7 at plus 110 is a similar thing that we've talked about before, and I know we're talking a lot about this one game, but we'll move into MLB next, and we don't have NBA today. But I have a negative ROI on destroying line moves. Is that because because I do this all day, I'm recognizing the public play before the public comes in and hammers it? Because that's probably it. And how often does that public play cash? It was my initial reaction. I told you guys on the show that, man, when that 6.5 comes out, I'm going to hammer it. But the more I thought about it, and going on the streak that I'm on right now, I want to keep the streak going. I want to keep everything clean. I think the Avalanche -1 is the best bet on the entire board today, personally. So that's my action. Spenny says the way Tampa Bay plays playoff hockey is the way you want your team to play. Everyone blocks shots, 110% effort game, one of the best goalies in the world. I love this. I love this because we have the Edmonton Oilers on one side and the New York Rangers on the other side. Two teams with young talent that are going to just keep moving forward. And it's not going to be Edmonton's year. And can the Rangers mess with the Lightning? I doubt it, but it's not impossible. Shesty and Vassy going head to head. So I love all of it. I'm very, 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 very excited. And the slight rest advantage with the Oilers, I don't think that's comes into play just because they've both had some nice time off now. But I'm locked in. I'm a Avalanche -1 at -117. And I'm on a 10-1 run, and I'm going to make it 11-1 when we come here tomorrow.
Sounds good. I'm on Avs -1 and the Avs team total over 3.5 at -130.
Beautiful. You are in business, Pete. And those of you guys, are watching, you're like, man, Jimmy, you're wrong. That's the fun part of capping together. So we don't have to always have the same opinion on things. But I think that I can't wait to watch what the Avalanche do with McDavid, because I have not seen a team with a forward unit where you have options. There's two different ways you can play McDavid here. And so I think it's going to be really, really, really fun. And I can't wait to watch it.
And very quickly, before we move on to MLB, Jimmy the Bag, the Tampa Bay and Rangers lines are out. And I'm thinking that even though Tampa Bay is an explosive offensive team, I'm thinking for game one of that series, first period under 1.5 at -115 or 110, that's got to be a decent play, right?
Yeah. I think the first period under 1.5. I prefer the full game under 5.5 at -110. But I am going to have to think about it more. I would love to get a Braden Point update. If there's no Braden Point, then the Lightning only have one way of beating you, and that's by keeping it really tight and low scoring. So 14 hours ago, they said that his he doesn't know when he's going to be there, so he won't be there for game one. It looks like he won't be there for game one. So if he's not there for game one, I think that the under is a great look.
So even though it's not on today's card, it's tomorrow. You can add that onto my official record if you want as well. I'll use the Pinnacle line. First period under 1.5 -109.
Wow. Okay. Well, no, let's give you the Bet365 line. It's plus 100.
Wow. Okay.
All right. You are in. I like the full game under 5.5 more. And if I'm 11, if I cash with the Avalanche, I'm only going to take the under 5.5. But maybe I should. So you know what? I'll probably move. I'll probably bet that here after the show, just to ensure that I get this line at -110.
My only issue is that this game could easily be 3-2 heading into the final minutes, and if that's the case, then you got the empty net goal, and then you got an over 5.5. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Just sec. Someone's knocking on the door. Pete, take over for a minute.
Okay.
Me and you, Pete. Hello, Pete. How's it going?
Here we go, Jose Bouquet. We can talk about some what's coming up on today's MLB card. Today's card features happily it features the best pitcher in MLB baseball right now, and his name is Martin Perez. We're going to talk about that, aren't we? Right, Jose Bouquet?
Yes.
Kid, that's a joke, but only a very slight joke.
It's really not even a joke.
Baseball, but he's top 5, right?
He could win the Cy Young at this point.
Cy Perez.
I'm just saying, you know.
Even though I've lost so much money on him.
There's a little truth in every joke. I hate that fucking saying. There's a little truth in every joke, but that joke, Martin Perez, best pitcher in baseball. There is a little truth there. There is a little truth there, Jimmy the Bag.
There is a little truth. Let's get right to work. Pistol Pete, Loshak. We're going to start with the double dip. We're going to do both games 1 and 2. Game 1, Minnesota Twins 29-20, 12-9 on the road at the Detroit Tigers, 18-29, 12-14 at home. We're at Comerica Park in Detroit, Michigan. We'll start with the weather here. 88 Fahrenheit at first pitch, 14.7 miles per hour right to left, and it goes up to 16 miles per hour right across. Spenny says Alec Manoah Cy Young a plus 1100 that sprinkled the other day. I like that. Maybe I should put in a little something on that as well, Spenny. I like that look. Okay, let's go over to the line history, and then we're going to move over to the cash flow in this spot. We have the Twins opening up at minus 145. They got up to minus 155 at 4:30 in the morning, and then they dropped 15 cents at 8:30 in the morning. Got 5 cents back. So they're right where it opened. The Twins are minus 145, right where Bet 365 opened it. The total opened up at 8.5 is a pick 'em. There's been a 15-cent move to the over. We look at the cash flow in this spot. 8,171 tickets in. 75% of the tickets, 78% of the cash on the Twins. Then 41% of the tickets, 83% of the cash on the under. And yeah, the 15-cent move to the over is a little confusing. Smeltzer, 1-0, 1.04 ERA, 0.81 whip, 17 1/3, just 8 Ks and 4 walks, but he's been very good. Faced the Royals in back-to-back starts and completely shut them down in the last game. It was a 3-2 loss, but he went 7 innings to it. No one run, 6 Ks and a walk. Going up against Ronny Garcia. So the last start he had, we thought it was just going to be a bullpen day, but it looks like they may be trying to stretch him out. He went 4 innings. So that's the longest of the season for him. 3 hits, 2 earned runs, a homer, 5 Ks, and 2 walks. In the 4-2 extra inning win at the Twins, 0.83 ERA or WHIP, 22 Ks in 18 innings. Twins are hitting 248, 729 OPS versus righties. Tigers hitting 254, 663 OPS versus lefties. Twins bullpen has scuffled a little bit of late. 3.80 ERA, 1.31 WHIP. Tigers bullpen 3.05 ERA, 1.11 WHIP. That is the situation for Game 1. Twinkies Tigers. Pete, what are you doing here?
This is a classic example of a May-June pre-All-Star game MLB play for me. I bet Minnesota team total over at 4 small. Minnesota has a good offense, although Correa, I believe, is out for COVID, but that's not that's bad. But they still have a bunch of other guys. Garcia facing Minnesota's second straight appearance. Not bad so far, but his peripherals are a little bit questionable. And so I did bet Minnesota in Game 1, the Minnesota team total over. Game 2, we'll look at when after Game 1 is done. Nothing crazy, just a standard play that has a little bit of an edge, in my opinion, as of right now.
Did you want to make that official?
Maybe not. I don't know. Let me see what the odds are. What are people saying? Let's see. Yeah, let's pass on it. Now let's not make it official. It's an early game in Detroit. Let's not make that official.
Kyle Hintley and liking Smeltzer here. There's Dabby Cab in the house. D. Jenkins says, oh, by the way, it was D. Jenkins' birthday yesterday.
Okay.
He's not asking for
anything. What's that got to do with me?
He wants to be a part of the birthday glory, and I get it.
Right.
And happy belated D. Jenkins, my guy. I'm going to copy and paste Dabby's action here. Right here. There we go. I guess I don't have a ton of interest in this spot. Are you surprised there's been a 15-cent move to the full game over?
To the over? No, not at all. Not at all. I was leaning over, but more so for Minnesota than for Detroit. Smeltzer is definitely going to regress. Well, not I suspect he's going to regress. He's not really getting strikeouts. 3 excellent appearances so far. And Detroit, they're less bad against lefties than against righties. So they'll probably put up a few. If you gave me a free bet on the total, I'd definitely take the over. And I did bet the Minnesota team total over. I did.
Top Set is on the Twins' first 5 in full games. His Tigers bats are garbage. Also, Garcia will get shelled. Mally Mal says, yes, Twins here. De Niro leaning to Tigers in game 1. Yeah, there's a lot of great opportunities on the board, and this did not really interest me. I think I find the fact that 86% of the cash is on the under and it's moved 15 cents to the over, to make the under more appealing is questionable. Right, it's gorgeous in Detroit, man. It's beautiful, beautiful here in Toronto too. 88 Fahrenheit, 14.7 miles per hour, right to left. A little windy, but right to left wind. Okay, let's move past it. Possibly team total move for Pistol Pete, but he's not making it official. Let's talk about this game 2 and just thoughts leaning into it as we want to watch game 1. But you have two 24-year-olds here, high draft picks, going up against each other in game 2. For the Twinkies, you have Cole Sands, 5th-round pick in 2018 out of Florida State. In AAA, St. Paul with the Saints, he went 0-4. St. Paul Saints, by the way, were in the Independent League and have now become the AAA team from Minnesota. 7.23 ERA, 1.55 WHIP, 18 2/3, 21K, 6 walks. So he got shelled in St. Paul, and now he's pitching the second game of a double dip. It certainly feels like they're reaching.
Yeah.
But you could say a similar thing about Joey Wentz. He started one game. He got shelled. 2 2/3, 7 hits, 6 earned runs, 1K, 2 walks, and 9-0 loss home to the A's. But this is a first-round pick by the Braves out of high school in Prairie Village, Kansas. In AAA Toledo, he was not 34 strikeouts in 26 2/3, 0-2, 4.72 ERA, 1.28 WHIP. The Tigers don't hit righties, so maybe they think Cole Sands will have a nice opportunity. The Twins hitting 248, 729 OPS first righties. Reich saying over in game 2. I've had trouble, Pete, with these guys from AAA who are shelled in AAA who come up to majors, and I just expect them to get shelled in the majors, and it doesn't work like that. Can you touch on your thoughts with this? Because it's not as simple as it looks, I imagine.
I'm probably going to pass on this one because there's so many unknowns, but we'll see what happens with game 1. Yeah, I mean, if some guy's getting shelled in the minors and they bring him up to the majors, it depends on why they're bringing him up. If they have no other options, which is often the case, then that's a bad sign. But, getting shelled, it's a thin line if you're a AAA prospect between getting shelled and settling down and having a serviceable start. So if someone's getting hit hard in the minors, then I don't ignore that, but it's definitely not an auto fade when they come up to the majors.
If I forced you right now 8 hours before the first pitch of game 2 to make a bet on game 2, just what would you be sort of looking for? And could you say, well, if something happens in game 1, I would prefer game 2, or could you say, I like that Joey Wentz has a start under his belt at home, so now he has the second straight home start, and he's a first-round draft pick, and now that was 40th overall first-round draft pick, but still first-round draft pick, that you think a higher upside with Joey Wentz?
If you force me right now, if you gave me a free plan, I had to use it right now, I'd throw it on Detroit as a dog. Yeah. Throw it on Detroit as a dog. Yeah.
Yeah. I get that. Expecting an improved performance from Wentz. I don't know. I apologize for giving the Twins batting averagers righties when Wentz is a lefty. But I think I have some interest in seeing Wentz rebound here in his second start at home. So I do have some interest in the Tigers in game 2, but we will get to that later.
Yeah, and then just Michael Irvelina says, Pete, what do you think about Twins first 5? I don't hate it, but it makes me nervous. If I'm liking the Twins here, I'm just going to take their team total over, just because Smeltzer, 3 great appearances. Now he's going up against Detroit, who are less bad against lefties than righties, and a day game like this, it would as a road favorite, it would make me nervous. Michael Irvelina. There's your answer, pal.
Michael Irvelina, Mr. Mike Irvelina. Kansas City Royals, Cleveland Guardians next up, Pete. This is the first move I made, and I'm late to the party, and I almost didn't make it because of how late I am to the party. But I'm not late on the Daniel Lynch party. I believe in Daniel Lynch, and it's cost me a lot of money. CT Bays in the house. What up, CT Bays? but it's cost me a lot of money. But I think we got a sign of what he's capable of in that second start against the Twins. That first start against the Twins, he got shelled for 4 runs in the first inning. He gathered himself. Now he only went 3 2/3. Then he starts against the Twins right away. 5 days later, he goes 5 1/3, 7 hits, 2 earned runs, 6 Ks, 2 walks, and a 3-2 win at the Twins. Cal Quantrill coming off a good start as well. A 2-1 loss at Houston. 6 innings, 6 hits, 2 earned runs, no homers, 3 Ks, 4 walks. But the Royals hit righties decent. I guess not decent, but decent in comparison to what the Guardians do with lefties. Royals are hitting 239, 675 OPS. Guardians just hitting 212, 600 OPS versus lefties. And the Royals bullpen is trash. So with all that put together, I did take the Royals first 5 on the dog line at plus 110. I could have got a much better line had I bet it earlier, but I still moved on it. What are you doing here for Royals Guardians?
Well, this one is I was liking Cleveland here on the full game. Cleveland has a much better pen, obviously, but the righty-lefty splits do not favor Cleveland here. But my numbers like Cleveland anyway. Quantrill is interesting. He doesn't give up a lot of hard contact, which I think is probably going to serve him well in this matchup. So I haven't bet it yet. I don't know if I will. So you took KC first 5?
I did.
Yeah. I definitely like that better than KC full game. I don't know if I'll be on this one, but my lean would definitely be to Cleveland here. Full game though.
Yeah,
the lefty-righty splits for the starters obviously favored KC, obviously.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, let's keep rolling into my next bet. Now, again, I did Jose's Say Hey plays yesterday, so I spent the afternoon studying baseball for yesterday, and then I had to run to a poker game, and so I got to my action later than I would have liked, and I got to this over later than I would have liked. It went from 9 to 9.5. And I also, sorry, I didn't talk about the money in this spot, in the last spot, but there are 2 teams with full line value, complete line values as Sports Insights. That is the Kansas City Royals and the Arizona Diamondbacks. There's only 5,598 tickets in that KC Cleveland game, but 30% of the tickets are on the Royals and 79% of the cash. And 76% of the tickets, 90% of cash on the under as well in that spot. So expecting nice performances from both of these pitchers. I cashed on that first 5 under there yesterday, and I was confident. Seeing that total go from 8.5 to 10.5 yesterday was wild in the Guardians game against these Royals. But let's move on to the Giants here. We'll start with the cash in the San Francisco spot. 5,182 tickets in. 41% of the tickets, 61% of cash on Suarez and the Phillies, and then 49% of tickets, 47% cash on the over. This over has moved. From a side perspective, the Giants opened up plus 110. They got up to plus 120, but they're back at plus 110. And the total opened up at 9, and it moved to 9.5 at 8:18 in the morning. So I have the over, first 5 over 5. I don't like it, the line I got on it, but first 5 over 5 minus 105. I just want to fade Jacob Junis as much as possible, especially on the road. And I do not know what to do with Ranger Suarez at this point. So maybe you could give us shed some light on how to handle it. I'll just drop the weather here. 92 Fahrenheit at first pitch, 10.2 miles per hour left to right, and it dies down to 4.8. Junis coming off a nice start at home versus the Mets, a team that smashes righties. Junis took care of them. 6 innings, 3 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 homer, 4 Ks, 1 walk, 9-3 win at home. Suarez last start 4 1/3, 6 hits, 5 earned runs, 1 homer, 4 Ks, 4 walks, 8-4 loss to the Braves. He's not getting any better right now, and the Giants are smashing lefties. 243, 762 OPS. Phillies don't hit righties hard. 241, 692 OPS. Both bullpens are poor, and I didn't want to double up until I heard everybody's thoughts on this game. I am on the first 5 over 5 minus 105. Pete, take it away. Giants-Phillies.
Yeah, I don't mind that at all. I did bet a little bit the San Francisco team total over. Again, this is just a modest May-June MLB type bet for me. It could easily lose. Suarez struggled, but the last few starts, but against some tough lineups, But Philly, of course, also has a vulnerable pen and a vulnerable defense. San Francisco doesn't have a good defense either. So, in general, I kind of like the overs here. I might have more bets on this game by first pitch, but I did take a shot with the Giants team total over. And I don't know if I want to make that official, but Suarez could easily come in and have a good start, as we've seen from him in previous years and starts. But it's a relatively low team total, all things considered. So my numbers had a little bit of value with the Giants team total over.
Yeah, I get it, and I wish I got in on that full game over 9, but it's moved to 9.5. So I guess I just stick with that first 5 over 5 at -105 is my only move. I've only made 4 bets, so there is 2 of them. Royals first 5 plus 110, and then the first 5 over 5 -105. A Real Deal Prime says my rule is San Francisco this year favors left-handed pitching no matter what. Robert Franklin on Giants plus 110 in the over 9.5. Reich saying the Phillies don't play well at home. Real Deal Prime says units keeping that ERA low. San Francisco can't left-handed pitching. Another reach game. I'm off. They're hitting 243, 762 OPS versus lefties, and that's 5th, I believe. 4th or 5th in the league. But when the season started, we said they couldn't hit lefties, but it seems like that's what they're doing now.
I'm not saying that this is predictive, but so far they've definitely been a top 10 team against lefties based on the stats that I've been keeping.
Yeah, without a doubt. But we had an expectation that they weren't going to be able to do that, and it's not being the case. But their bullpen's falling apart as well. All right, let's move on to Angels-Yankees. Angels 27-22, 12-9 on the road against the New York Yankees. 33-15, 17-17 at home at Yankee Stadium in the Bronx. We'll start with the weather in New York. 84 Fahrenheit at first pitch. 92 Fahrenheit at first pitch, 8.9 miles per hour out to right, and it dies down to 3.2 by the end of the game. 92 it opens at, it closes at 84. We'll look at the line history in this one. The Yankees, Angels, after the Jays just came in and swept the board with them. Yankees -135 being no movement, and then the total's gone from 9 to 8.5. A long plane ride for the Angels after getting swept by the Blue Jays. Let's take a look at where the cash lies here in this spot. We have 5,888 tickets in, 62% of tickets, 70% of cash on the Yankees, 53% of tickets, 81% of cash on the under. Ooh, the Oil of Olay play of the day from Saturated. Angels on the run line. Real Deal Prime says LA on my card. Let's go. Let's go. And Cashman hit a pick 5 at Lone Star yesterday. Nice job. Asking a question about 13-3. Okay, I'll let Spenny handle that while we're doing here. Noah Syndergaard, 4-2, 3.08 ERA, 1.08 whip, 38 innings, 27 Ks, 8 walks, 3 home runs. Last start, big bounce back start against the Rangers after getting lit up by them the start before. 8 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run, solo shot, 5 Ks, no walks, and 5-3 win. Jordan Montgomery, the lefty, coming off a quality start in a 7-6 extra inning win at home over the Orioles. 6 innings, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 homer, 5 Ks, no walks, 3.30 ERA, 1.06 whip on the season. Angels hitting 259, 726 OPS versus lefties. Yankees just 238, 711 OPS versus righties. Angels bullpen 4.02 ERA, 1.19 whip. Yankees bullpen scuffling a little bit of late, but still good. 3.15 ERA, 1.18 whip. Take it away, Pete. Angels, Yankees in your backyard.
Yeah. I think I did bet the first 5 over tiny. That's just a bet. Like I wanted, my numbers liked it, but I didn't like it. So I bet 50 cents on it or something like that. Syndergaard, that start that he got crushed 2 starts ago, I was on him. And I've since changed my feeling towards him. I think in general, he's going to be, I'm looking for spots for him to be vulnerable. I think this is one of them. And Montgomery is solid, but he should give up a few. And the Angels, of course, have an excellent lineup. Of course, no Stanton or Donaldson for the Yanks is not great, but I think they'll still hit Syndergaard here. That's what my numbers indicate. The Yanks have a great bullpen though, and the Angels have a decent pen. So, my numbers like the full game over as well. but the first half over a little bit more. But it's just tough to take, first 5 overs when they're 5. So I guess I'm going to have to pass on this one, but definitely looking for the Angels to be okay offensively here and for Syndergaard to be vulnerable. So I did bet the first 5 over a little bit, but that was just a nominal token bet. Nothing substantial.
A lot of people believing in the Angels here, and Flipper 13 in the house.
Shout out to Flipper 13.
Flip, and he's on the under, but Jones is on the over, and confidently on the over at 8.5. Interesting spot here. I've got no confidence here. CT Base says Thor back in New York, head case at times despite the talent.
Yeah, but his peripherals are a little bit questionable. So I don't think he's, unless that changes, I don't think that he's, the pitcher that he used to be. There's some big question marks with him as far as his, spin rate and all that crap.
Well, I wanted to talk about this spot because I was hoping to get a bigger dog line. I wanted to bet the Baltimore Orioles first 5 with Bauman. I believe it's Bauman. Do we think it's Mike Bauman who's going to be starting with the Orioles? But I was like, you know what? Let's talk this out. Seattle Mariners 20-28, 8-18 on the road. Orioles 21-29, 12-11 at home at Camden Yards in Baltimore, Maryland. We'll start with the weather. 93 Fahrenheit at first pitch, 5.3 miles per hour left to right. The wind kind of changes directions, but it's not very strong in this game, so it's not a big deal. We'll go over to the line history. Not much line history. It didn't open at Bet365 till 10:48 this morning, just an hour and 12 minutes ago, and I imagine that it hasn't opened up everywhere. But opened up at -125. It's now at -130, so a 5-cent move for the Mariners. From a total look, it opened at 9, juiced slightly to the under, and it has not moved. I'm sure the ticket count will be very small here, 1,374 tickets, and all we know is 66% of tickets and 85% of cash at this point is on the Mariners. 53% of tickets on the under, but we don't have a cash count yet. So, Kirby, highly thought of prospect, 7-5 loss at home in his last start to the A's. 9 strikeouts in 5 innings, so showed what he's capable of, but did allow 4 earned runs and a homer and 8 hits. Didn't walk a batter. Bauman has had 6 appearances. He's not started a game, and he's only thrown 11 innings. He's not going to be out there long. It's a bullpen day for the Orioles.
Yeah, I'm seeing Brian Baker. Who the fuck is that? And then really, Keegan Aiken as the primary. I know who that is.
Oh wow! So it's not even Bauman, because that's what RotoWire had Bauman, because I know that they didn't know who was going to be in. Well, if it's
Brian Baker, but it's a bullpen start.
And Keegan Aiken. Wow, Aiken, the lefty. Huh. Okay, so that's going to take more study for me. You have any thoughts on this spot?
No, but I'm in this spot. No, I mean, the line wasn't even out this morning when I checked it, but I will comment just in general on Seattle and Baltimore. I've made some shitty MLB picks in my private betting over the past couple weeks, but Baltimore, that train I was on. I was betting them, in good spots against Boston, and I was taking team total overs with them. They brought up some guys. Their offense is better now. This guy Rutschman, that catcher / DH, that's a big prospect who came up, and he's been productive for them. And they have some other bats in the lineup that are good, especially against lefties. I took them big on the team total over against Rich Hill yesterday, which is why it wasn't the worst day of my life betting, and only just a very bad day because I had a big casher with that against Rich Hill. But Baltimore in general is a team that, and I think that they should have some value at the very least with their team total overs against lefties who are vulnerable in upcoming weeks and months. And Seattle is also a team that should be better than they've been so far. So I'm looking at spots vaguely to bet on Seattle going forward, doing it cautiously and just eyeing it and keeping an eye on it. But Seattle has some peripheral stats that indicate that they should be much better than they've been so far. Especially at home. I think that Seattle is going to be a team that I'm going to be looking to bet on at home in upcoming weeks and months. So this is obviously a road game against a team I don't want to bet against. So I'm probably going to be off this game. But in general, I have been betting Baltimore team total overs, especially against vulnerable lefties. That's probably something I'm still going to be doing in upcoming weeks. And again, looking to bet on Seattle in spots and particularly at home in upcoming weeks. Something to think about, Jimmy the Bag.
Yeah, enough for me to not want to be involved here. So I'm going to take that off.
Yeah.
Thank you for the heads up. So
yeah, on the season, Seattle actually has by a margin the highest WRC plus at home in baseball. More than the Dodgers, more than the Yankees, more than anyone at home.
Wow.
Yeah.
And food for thought, and 8-18 on the road here, but I'm going to just pull off from that. Let's move on to the next spot. So Pete, I made a decision about maybe a week ago, maybe a little over probably a week ago, to bet the Blue Jays blindly every day for the rest of the season. So after they were heading towards the sweep, I know the numbers on the home team with the winning percentage, stopping the sweep, and I did not care. I bet on the Jays again, and I'm going to bet on the Jays again today, and I'm just going to blindly bet on the Jays over and over and over and over again because I think they are a very good baseball team, and you have to be hitting 179 runners in scoring position, be over 500 with the toughest schedule in the league. So I'm just back doing it again here. I don't care if it's Giolito. It was interesting. I was watching the market move. That'll be the tricky part of it, is trying to fashion the best line here in Toronto. But I did wait till it got back to minus 170. I took them on the minus 1 line here. So it got up to minus 180. It opened at minus 160 at 5:38. Within an hour, it was minus 165. 30 minutes after that, it's minus 170. Then at 10:15 at night, it went to minus 180. It came back to minus 170 at 9:05 this morning. And that was the money line portion of the minus 1 line that I bet. From a totals perspective, opened up at 7.5 to the over at minus 120. And weather, gorgeous here. Roof will be open. And let's take a look at what it is today here. It's the hottest day that I've been a part of here in Toronto. And it's not that hot at night. 76 Fahrenheit, 9.4 miles per hour left to right, dies down to 5.8. And from a cash perspective here, we have 6,002 tickets in. 67% of the tickets and 89% of the cash is on the Blue Jays. 51% of tickets, 60% cash is on the under. Dennis Garcia says everyone dreaming about Cy Young long shots when Gaussman wins for fun. He has been that spectacular this year. Giolito's been good. 3-1, 2.63 ERA, 1.27 WHIP, 51 Ks and 37 2/3. Last start, 6 innings, 5 hits, 1 earned run, no homer, 7 Ks, 4 walks, and 3-1 win at home versus Red Sox. Gaussman 4-3, 2.25 ERA, 1.04 WHIP, 65 Ks and 5 walks, 65 Ks and 56 innings with 1 home run. Last start, 8-1 win at the Cardinals. He went 6 innings, 4 hits, no earned runs, 8 Ks, 2 walks. White Sox aren't hitting righties at all. CT basis, White Sox will struggle without Tim Anderson. Might change entire team until he returns. They're hitting just 228, 621 OPS against righties. And there's WT in the house. Miss you, buddy. Blue Jays versus righties, 234, 690 OPS. White Sox bullpen we thought was going to be very good. They've been very bad. 4.27 ERA, 1.38 WHIP. Blue Jays bullpen is not to be trusted. 3.96 ERA, 1.21 WHIP. I got a minus 1 on minus 117, Pete, on the Blue Jays. And take it away. What's your move here?
Well, I did make a bet that just looked like it was priced a little bit off or significantly off where I would price it. And I did take the no run in the first inning. And, it might lose, but we can make that official. It's just minus 120 at Pinnacle right now. So White Sox, Toronto, no run first inning, minus 120. We can make that an official play. It's possible. I agree that Anderson is a huge loss for the White Sox. I agree on Toronto being a good bet in general going forward. Although here, coming back home, I kind of prefer to bet on them on the road. Toronto, that stadium is a little bit funky when they when it can be more run suppressing than you would think. I might be on a play here by first pitch. The only thing I did bet it pretty solidly, all things considered, for this time of the season was no run in the first inning. We can make that official, minus 120. I guess I'd lean to Toronto here with Gaussman on the mound and no Anderson for the White Sox. But I didn't bet it. and it makes me nervous to take Toronto coming home as a huge favorite there. Go ahead.
I think I've closed up my futures too. I'd put 200 on them, the division, AL, and World Series. I added 250 on the AL at plus 475 and another 250 at plus 1200. So it's 200 on the division, 450 on the AL, 450 on World Series. And I think I'm just done. Everything worked out the way I had hoped when we talked about it 6 weeks ago, that the Jays schedule would be really tough and maybe one of these teams in the East goes on a big run and gives us a better number. That's all happened. And I watched this Jays team, win games. I don't trust Montoya making his decision-making quite often, but I just think the team is just so good, man. I just think they're so good, Pete.
Yeah. I mean, I also wouldn't be opposed to, White Sox first 5 team total under 1.5 at minus 110. Giolito with the no run in the first inning does make me nervous, but my numbers indicated it should be closer to like minus 150 or so. So I took it, and that's why I'm making it official. But yeah, the Giolito part of that no run in the first inning is the part that I feel really nervous about.
And Noli knows on the first 5 under 4.
Well. Okay.
CT Bay says Jay should win, but expensive. Penn keeps me off the run line, although Gaussman could go 7. Yeah, I'm not going to bother, though, with the first 5s anymore. Give me 9 innings with the better baseball team, and it's been helping. So I'm just going to focus on full games with my blind betting. But I'm back on the Jays and had a nice run there in California. Okay, so that's my third bet. Pete moved on the no-run first inning. That is his first official locked-in spot here. And Ron Crawford's spreadsheet play today is also on the Toronto Blue Jays. Ron Crawford moving on the Blue Jays. Let me lock that in for Ron, my man, Ron. Thank you for always sharing your hard work with us, Ronnie, baby. All right, we move on to my final bet. Another spot where I wish I had have done it a little earlier, but I am on Luis Castillo in the Cincinnati Reds first 5 at plus 105 at Boston today in Fenway. And this is not Jose's say hey play of the day, but whenever I make a bet on a Red Sox game, I really want to know what he thinks and what his moves are. So let's welcome the star of Say Hey Plays of the day, fresh off his huge cash here on the Pittsburgh Pirates. Jose, how are you?
I'm doing well. Actually making plays and such while the show goes on. So having a good time, capping, producing, doing everything. It's a good time.
And how was yesterday overall for you?
Well, Pirates definitely saved my ass. Obviously, we go up a unit and a half yesterday. I went 2-2. Spencer Strider kind of had the wet shits in the first inning, unfortunately for us, but everything else cashed pretty comfortably. Rays first 5, I was on that bandwagon with you, Pete. Rass finally has a bad start, but that will not stop me from betting him next time out.
You had the Rays first 5?
I did indeed.
That fucking home run that he robbed in the first inning?
I did, off of G-Man Choi, Eli White, you bastard.
But that's what baseball really is, a game of inches. You know what I mean? The other games are a little bit different, but baseball really is like weighted coin flippy game, man.
I was not comfortable fading Glenn Otto in that spot, so I stayed off of it. I wish I had have trusted it a little more, but I stayed off of it. But here we are with Boston, and it was a very interesting spot yesterday where the market wasn't moving towards Boston, and all the money was on Boston. So I stayed off of that game because of it, and then Rich Hill got it completely lit up early. Here we have Michael Wacha. We had the over in Wacha's last start against Dallas Keuchel. We had the first 5 over, and we had the Red Sox first 5 in full game. We might not ever get the chance to do that again. Dallas Keuchel has been UFA.
Can we have a moment of silence for that, please?
Yeah, it's sad. But Michael Wacha, do you trust these numbers? He's 3-0 with a 2.83 ERA, 1.09 WHIP, 24 Ks in 35 innings, 24 to 14 K to walk ratio. Not very good. The weather in Fenway here, where is it? Sorry, let me just grab the weather here. It's 56 Fahrenheit at first pitch. Cool in Boston. Yeah, well, it's warm everywhere else. 9.4 miles per hour in and dies down to 5.1. We go over to the line history in this one, and we have the Reds opening up at plus 125. At 8:18 in the morning, they went to plus 120, and at 9:43 they went to plus 115. From a total perspective, 8.5 to the over at minus 120. And when we look at the cash flow in this spot, there is. So I said already that the Royals and the Diamondbacks have full line value. The next highest line value is these Reds with Castillo. And no one's betting them. 15% of the tickets, 6% of the cash is on the Reds. 35% of the tickets on the under, but 90% of cash on the under. Noli Knows says Bogarts over 1.5 has been an auto bet. CT Base says first 5 under. I'm feeling in Boston, Cincinnati. Keep the Reds pen out of it. And Castillo looked okay at home versus the Cubs last out. 5 innings, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, no homers, 6 Ks, 1.11 WHIP, 20 2/3. This Red Sox team has not seen him. Red Sox versus righties, 228, 676 OPS. Red Sox versus righties, 257, 726 OPS. Reds bullpen atrocious. Red Sox bullpen not very good. We'll start with Jose. Start to say, hey, plays of the day. Reds, Red Sox. You're moving on this.
I have not moved on it yet. I definitely don't hate the first 5 under looks. Luis Castillo has not pitched against the Red Sox yet in his career, so that will obviously benefit you guys. He gets compared to Pedro all the time, and I've said it, throughout the year. I don't want him. One of my worst case scenarios is him getting traded to the Yankees because I think he's a good pitcher. Honestly, I don't have anything on this game. I think this could be a closer game than expected. I like a first 5 under for sure. Wacha coming off second start off of an injury will be interesting. We'll see if he is back. I guess is this a second or third shot? I don't remember anymore.
Second,
but
I believe.
Second, yeah. So okay, then I think this will be a big indicator to see how it goes after. The first one gets all like the rust, shake it all off, and then it was at the White Sox, so tougher start too. And I think that this for sure is a first 5 under game, but I've got nothing on the side here, which usually means that the underdog is in play. I mean, yesterday I kind of like the Orioles. I didn't move on them either. But I don't hate your Reds look at all.
I like the sounds of that. I'm on Reds first 5 plus 105 available right now at Bet365. Pistol Pete, Reds, Red Sox. Take it away.
Yeah, this is a tough one. I'm going to pass on this. I guess I'd be leaning Boston at this line, but it makes me a little bit nervous. Castillo is not someone that I love fading right now, and Cincinnati as a dog is not a team that I love fading right now. So I'd have a lean to Boston, but I didn't bet it, and I don't know if I will or not. Maybe by first pitch I'll have something, but as of right now, nothing. Lean to Boston though.
A lean to Boston. I'm on the Reds first 5 plus 105, and Jose will be back with us with Brewers-Cubs. But why don't you give us a little hint? Who is on the Big Say Hey show today?
My man Big Ragu on Say Hey plays today. So yeah,
nice. That'll be fun.
So I need to learn from my elders always. So we will be fun. Big Ragu joining us today. So yeah,
I love
good time. And I've already added a couple plays on the card today. I'll tweet them out here soon. And it seems like it's going to be a fun day today.
Sweet. And Say Hey play of the day here on the show. It will be coming in a couple games.
Get that camera ready, Jim. You know what camera? Your baby cam. Your fucking win camera. Get that shit ready because you're ready. We need it again, Jim. It's going to be exciting. I can't wait.
That was a great cash, wasn't it?
Yeah. We need it again. We need it again today. Let's bring it out for a couple of minutes here in like 2 games or so, whatever it is.
I really enjoyed the capping on yesterday's Say Hey plays of the day. It was a very difficult card to come out 2-1. I was very, very pleased. So Big Ragu on Say Hey plays of the day today, and Jose will be back with us when we talk Brew Crew Cubbies. Let's move on to 7:10 p.m. Eastern. Pete, Washington Nationals 18-32, 9-14 on the road at the New York Mets, 33-17, 17-8 at home. Citi Field in Queens, New York. Patrick Corbin going up against Trevor Williams. Corbin, the lefty, 1-7, 6.30 ERA, 1.66 WHIP, 15 innings, 42 Ks, 22 walks, 6 home runs. His last start was good. He's had a couple good starts against the Rockies this year, and this was one of them. 6 1/3, 7 hits, 3 runs, 3 Ks, 2 walks, 7-3 win at home versus the Rockies. And Pete, I almost moved on the first 5 under, and I wanted to talk it out because I got cold feet. And anytime I do anything related to Corbin, I get nervous.
Mm-hmm.
Trevor Williams has been pretty good. When I saw his picture, I immediately wanted to fade him. And I was like, and I dug a little deeper and was like, he's been pretty good. And one bad outing over his last 4, 0-3, 4.37 ERA, 1.24 WHIP, 22 Ks and 4 walks, great K to walk ratio, 3 home runs allowed. His last start was a loss at the Giants, 9-3 loss. He went 3 2/3, but didn't allow a run, 5 Ks and 2 walks. Nats rating 256, 708 OPS versus righties. That number's going up. Mets struggle against lefties, 231, 681 OPS. If you count struggle, they're still a really good offensive team. Nats bullpen 4.21 ERA, 1.38 WHIP. Mets bullpen 3.58 ERA, 1.22 WHIP. Let's look at the weather first. 91 Fahrenheit at first pitch, 9 miles per hour right to left. It ends up coming in, but it's not hard, so nothing to worry about. Then we'll take a look at the market move in the spot. We have a 20-cent move, 30-cent move to the Mets. The Mets go from -170 to -200, and the Nats go from +150 to +170. And there's been a 5-cent move to the over. So it's 9 at -125. And when we look at the cash in this Mets spot, we have 8,473 tickets in. 18% of the tickets, 23% of the cash on the Nationals. 53% of the tickets, 61% cash on the under. What do you think of my lean? I was afraid to bet it and wanted to hear what you had to say about it. Nationals, Mets, take it away.
On the under?
First 5, yeah.
That makes any under any which way with Corbin starting makes me nervous, although this is not one of the dangerous spots for him. This one, yeah, it's tough. My numbers indicate that the line is right on. The Mets should be a big favorite, but they are. And, Williams is just up and down. His peripherals are good, but I don't trust the peripheral. Hippie jerk off. I don't care if the trust the peripheral. Fucking look at this guy. You know what I mean? Look at this fucking dude. I want a fucking Marine on the mound. I don't want some fucking weed dealer or grower. But Corbin is someone that I'm looking to fade in general. I have no bet on this one as yet. I would like to. I might have a bet on it by first pitch. And Corbin is definitely a guy that I'm just looking to fade, or it's a fade or pass. He's still a fade or pass guy for me, and I feel like I've done pretty well with that this year. I don't know if I've ever lost with it. It's just that, and also the lefty-righty splits don't favor the Mets here. They favor Washington. Washington better against lefties than righties, and the Mets are worse against lefties than righties. But the Mets are just a much better team. I might have a bet when by first pitch, but as of right now, it's going to be a pass for me. The under, it makes me nervous just with, Corbin and Williams. Again, Williams is his I'm not sure what to make of him. His peripherals are very good, but I don't really trust them. So as of right now, it's a pass. And the Mets coming off that huge day, it's just going to be a pass for me as of right now.
Honestly, everything you said there makes me like that first 5 under.
And also, right. Well, yeah, sure. I certainly haven't bet this game. I certainly didn't bet the over. And the Nationals, their bullpen was stretched yesterday, so Corbin needs to be on his game. And I think that will probably, compel him to be his best self, at least for the first few innings or so. I don't hate the first 5 under. I can understand why you would like it. I can't bet an under with Corbin on the mound, but I can understand what the argument is.
Juan Soto batting 0.77 against Trev Williams. 1 for 13. Nelson Cruz, though, 2 for 4, and Josh Bell, 2 for 6 with a jack. Oh, man. Okay. No vig, first 5 under 5 plus a hundo. It's funny. You're talking about looking at the peripherals with Trevor Williams, and they look good, but you don't trust it. And I can understand that. I mean, he could have been picked up for a cup of coffee in the offseason.
You know, I mean, when I say peripherals, also I'm talking about just this year's peripherals, and it's a relatively small sample size for sure. 23 innings, and he's had some nice results here and there, but I don't really trust it overall.
And
look at this asshole. You know what I mean?
Jose, can you get us a picture of Trev Williams with his long hair right now, if you can find a nice juicy one with him and his he's got a garden.
Yeah, so I don't know. It's going to be a pass. I mean, in general, I've been betting on the Mets, and I'm going to continue to do that going forward. If not on their money lines, on other team total overs. But this spot makes me nervous.
Yeah. I kind of want to. I don't know if Eric Jones leaning towards the Nats plus 1.5 at minus 125. I lean towards this first 5 under 5. I really do. Robert Freeney saying Corbin pitched well versus the Mets last time out. Okay, let's move on. He's lit right there, man. How much?
Look,
he's feeling good.
Get a fucking haircut, you jerk off. Oh my God.
Okay.
That fucking guy. Come on.
I came so close to betting the over 4.5 in our next spot, but I held off because I wanted to hear your analysis and hear what the chat had to say about this spot. San Diego Padres 30-18, 17-8 on the road. The St. Louis Cardinals 27-21, 14-11 at home. We're at Busch Stadium in St. Louis, Missouri. Let's go to the weather in St. Louis. St. Louis. 88 Fahrenheit, 13.4 miles per hour out to left. Dies down to 9.4, but all out. Going over to the line history in this one. St. Louis, San Diego, Snell, and Wainwright. Padres opened up at plus 105. They went to plus 110 last night, back to plus 105 this morning. From a totals look, opened up at 8.5, minus 115 to the under. It became a pick'em, and then this morning at 8:08 a.m., the over was juiced, but it's gone back to the under being juiced at minus 120. Let's take a look at the cat, and that's probably what ended up just saying, let's just talk it out instead. 6,355 tickets in. 26% of the tickets, 40% of the cash on the Padres. Maybe Wainwright is starting to actually act his age for the first time. But 39% of tickets, 75% of cash on the under, which kept me from betting the first 5 over 4.5. Snell has thrown 9 innings this year, 12 Ks, 5 walks. His last start, 5 1/3, 3 hits, 3 earned runs, 1 homer, 7 Ks, 2 walks, and a 4-1 loss at home versus the Brewers. Wainwright, last start, 4-3 loss at home versus the Brewers as well. And it was the Eric Lauer start. Eric Lauer's last start. We'll be talking about Eric Lauer in the next game, and that's a say hey play of the day. D. Jenkins says Cardinals smashing lefties, man. And CT Bay says liking the Cardinals here, but line feels like that's what the books want me to do. Cards versus lefties, 283, 827 OPS. Padres versus righties, just 230, 646 OPS. You were right about the Padres bullpen. They have scuffled a little bit in the last few days, but they turned it on. As soon as you said they were better than their numbers indicated, they turned it on. Cards bullpen, 3.66 ERA, 1.26 whip. I'm not entirely sure what to do with the Cards bullpen. Jay Peasy says, I'm on the Cards as well. Can't wait to hear your breakdown here. Padres, Cardinals, take it away, Pete.
Yeah, the Cards bullpen, I don't really like that much. Has me a little bit nervous. Not that, they're a major league bullpen, so they're going to have their days where they get it done. But in general, I'm a little down on the Cards bullpen. I did take a shot with St. Louis first 5 here. Wainwright is clearly, on the decline. He's far from lights out, but he's still, a serviceable veteran. And Snell, okay, but giving up some runs, and again, St. Louis, is mashing lefties. Less so recently, though. Pods are struggling versus righties, though. It's a low line, maybe a little bit suspiciously low line. I can understand why people would say that they're begging you to take the Cards here. I did take a shot, again, a small, May 31st style bet with St. Louis on the first 5 at -120. I might give that one officially. Let's get that asshole Jose Bouquet in here to see if he has anything at all to say about Snell. And if he's got nothing to say about Snell, then that's fine. It's tough to get a read on Snell right now. Jose Bouquet, what's your take on Snell right now?
Let's bring that asshole in.
Asshole.
This asshole is heavily invested in the Cardinals today.
Mm-hmm.
I like him first 5, and I'm on him team total over. I think it was 4. I said, I locked that in like 5-10 minutes ago. Basically, I will fade everyone who throws a lefty against the Cardinals. Everyone. It doesn't matter who it is. You're a lefty throwing against the Cardinals, I'll fade you. It doesn't. If they were first last year, even when we talked about a ridiculous White Sox squad. They're doing great this year. Let me pull up the numbers so I'm not just fucking talking out my ass real quick.
Yeah.
But they've been phenomenal this year. This month specifically, they're second, 142 weighted runs created plus. Only the Red Sox are above them. Not a big deal. Ultimately, just lefties against the Cardinals. Busch Stadium for Adam Wainwright. I think, even if he does look a little old and washed, I think he'll find it and figure his shit out, especially with a little home cooking there. Milwaukee's good offense too. I mean, he got touched up there a little bit, but they've been hitting the ball well. So yeah, it's all Cardinals for me here. I think, and Snell's not good away from home either. So Cardinals.
All right. Awesome. Thank you so much, Jose Bouquet. Let's make that official, Jimmy the Bag. I'm seeing at Pinnacle -115. I did bet it, and I just wanted to hear what Jose had to say about it before I made it official. But yeah, hopefully Wainwright's got one more solid start in him. 5 innings, 1 run, and St. Louis can get to Snell a little bit. Snell comes in and throws 5 shutout innings. That would not be a surprise or a shock at all. But at -115, maybe the books are trapping me here. Okay, fine. I'll get trapped. I'll take
That's
it.
Cards first 5?
-115, yeah.
Okay, Cards first 5 -115. Say play of the day. Do you want to make your action official here?
Yeah, sure. Like I said, I took the team total over 4. I almost pulled out the ski ladder for this one too. I took 4 at -110. I thought about taking 4.5 at plus 120, I think it was. But I ultimately ended up just doing the 4 -110 and first 5 -0.5 at even money. And Pete, by the way, if Blake Snell does throw those 5 no-run innings here, I will be shocked. I will be very surprised.
I mean, look, he's 29 years old. He's got, huge upside.
He's got last year just a little bit of an underscore, his struggles away from home. Last year, at home, 68 innings pitched, a 2.5 ERA. That looks great. We're all smiling. We're all doing fist bumps, handshaking. Away, 60 innings pitched, a 6 ERA.
Sure.
So this is it just seems like this is a bad spot for Snell. I'm shocked every time the Cardinals get a lefty thrown against them, to be honest. Right.
I mean, it wasn't that long ago that he was downright Martin Perez-esque with his dominance against major league hitters. But yeah, at -115, if it loses, the books got me. I'll take it.
And you took did you tweet this out yet, Jose?
No. We'll be tweeting all the action out after the show.
Well, let's give you a much better line then. The first 5 -0.5 is a +118 at Pinnacle.
Beautiful. Love it.
That's 118 at Pinnacle. And the first 5 is -115 on the money line that Pete gave out. JP says Padres bottom 5 OPS versus righties, Cards number 2 versus lefties. Numbers matter, right? Ron Crawford says Wainwright at home, a no-brainer. Do you guys have any concern over what we've been seeing from Adam Wainwright, or do you say just get him back home and he'll take care of everything?
No, I have concern. Yeah, he's not. I mean, he used to be a no-brainer auto first 5 innings / opposing team's first 5 team total under play, unless he was like, in Coors or against some awesome lineup or something. And that's definitely not the case anymore. He's clearly about to retire, probably after this year.
I can tell you for sure he is going to retire after this year.
Oh, did he announce it?
Yeah. This is their whole last dance thing the Cardinals are doing. But I actually am on the opposite side of Pete. I think he's fine. I think fine relatively for a 40-year-old man. I mean, let's just adjust expectations for what we're getting with Wainwright. He's only given up max 4 runs this year at Cincinnati, and we all know. And of course, I was on him that day because I'm a fucking idiot. But away from Busch Stadium, it's just that's not where he rolls. And I mean, he did okay against the Brewers last time out, but it's 3 runs, 4 runs. From a 40-year-old man, I'll take that. Fuck.
Well, I will cheer you guys on. I am going to stay away. Say hey, play today. Cards team total over 4 -110. First 5 -1/2 at +118. For Pistol Pete, Loshak cards first 5 -115, and that first 5 over 4.5 that I was thinking about, I'm erasing, and it is gone. Wrong hole play of the day is in. Wrong hole play of the day is in. New York Mets run line at +115.
2-0 is the wrong hole, I believe.
No, there was a wrong hole loss.
Oh, so he picked the wrong hole? Oh, no.
Oh, God.
2-1. Hey, it's still profit. The wrong hole is right.
That wasn't the problem. It was the joke that brought us down.
Well, I mean, good thing I'm stuck with you guys for this next game, too, huh?
Hey, there's a little truth in every joke, though, Jim. Don't forget that. There's a little truth in every, even if it's not funny, there's still a little truth in it. Even not funny jokes have a little truth.
But there's no such thing as a wrong hole, right?
All holes are correct.
Yeah, all holes are right. All holes are correct.
Okay.
8:05 p.m. Eastern. Milwaukee Brewers 32-18, 18-12 on the road at Chicago Cubs 19-29, 7-17 home. We're at Wrigley Field in Chicago, Illinois. Yes, I'll bring up my wind cam. I was not a good wind cam man until who got me on the wind cam? Deacon Mike.
Shout out to Deacon in the chat.
Deacon Mike has that wind cam going on. It's like in holiday season with the log on fire. Deacon Mike has the wind cam going on 24/7 in his house. It's always on TV. Yeah.
So I said it's like a little baby monitor, You want to check on the boys, check on the wind?
Okay. Yeah, I like it. And it brought me glory yesterday. Here we have a very interesting, one could say perplexing 15-cent move towards Justin Steele. And the Chicago Cubs. The Cubs open up at +125. They're now +110. From a totals look, it opened up at 9 and moved to 9.5. Well, it'll take me a second to bring up the win cam. So let's talk about the actual numbers here. We have drizzle at 8 p.m. and light rain at 10 p.m. 17.3 miles per hour left to right, slightly out. And it does become fully out when the light rain comes at the end of the Cubbies game. There's Tony Brusher in the House of Fire Chief joining us, man. You got to respect that. I love that shit.
Fireman.
Yeah, and not knowing fire, he's a chief. Lauer, Justin Steele here. Let's go over to the cash. And
that was a banger of a song back in the day, by the way.
What was that?
Fireman? I don't know. I don't know what the name of the song is, but I just remember going fireman for like years.
Oh, Jesus, I know nothing. You're lucky you didn't keep doing that because that was Brewers Cubs here. Let's talk about the cash and then hand it over to our experts who are making moves on this spot. Lauer, Steele, 5,699 tickets in. 15% of the tickets, 35% of the cash on these Cubs. 36% of tickets, 90% of cash on the over. So the market moving in both those spots. Steele coming off an atrocity. 25 loss at the Reds, 2 innings, 7 hits, 7 earned runs, 1 homer, 2 Ks, 2 walks. Lauer coming off a tough start against the Cardinals. Cardinals smashed lefties, and they couldn't really smash Lauer. That's how good he's pitching these days. 5 innings, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, no homers, 1 K, 4 walks, 2.31 ERA, 1.01 whip. Brewers hitting 210, 647 OPS versus lefties. They don't hit them. Cubs 242, 716 OPS. Brewers bullpen getting better as season goes on. 3.32 ERA, 1.23 whip. Cubs bullpen 3.79 ERA, 1.25 whip. T-Max's Brewers team total under 3.5 is also on the card. Take it away here, Jose Bouquet. Brewers-Cubs. What's the say hey play of the day?
I said fuck the wind again, and I'm going first 5 under 5 at -110 here. I like Lauer a lot. I was on the Cardinals when he was pitching against them because, like I said, I bet fade against every lefty, and he shoved it up my ass as he's one to do. And I like Lauer. I've been on him a lot. I thought he'd get touched up there, and in a start where he comes back down to earth a little bit, but he goes 5 innings, 2 earned runs against the best team. He's 4 walks, obviously. Maybe the Cardinals a little off of it that day, but I believe in Lauer. I like him a lot. And like you said, this money going to Justin Steele, apparently they're going to pitch well. And the thing, I think the primary cause of that is because the Brewers this month, and now since this is the last day of the month, have a lovely big sample size. Worst against lefties this month, or I should say second to worst. They're one notch above the Miami Marlins, 29-76. Marlins are 30th and 75. So essentially the worst. So they're thinking Justin Steele goes out here and pitches well. And I wouldn't be surprised either just because of how bad they've been. But I also added Brewers first 5 -0.5 as well. This is Justin Steele's 3rd start this year against the Brewers. And at some point, you're going to get figured out by a better team. He got 3 innings, 7 hits, 4 runs, 2 of them earned, 4 Ks, 1 walk on the 30th. That was his last start last month. So I think it'll be perhaps, like a 4 innings, 3-run perhaps effort. And then we get a good performance from Lauer. We sneak away with a first 5 under, perhaps Brewers -1 or a -0.5 for the front line. But I'm expecting a low-scoring first 5 here. Is the thesis of this explanation. And by the way, shame on you, Jimmy, for not knowing Wheezy F Baby, Fireman. Shout out to Lil Wayne, Red Sox Nation.
No, you're right. I'm not the biggest Lil Wayne fan. I don't dislike him. Don't get me wrong, but I'm not the biggest Lil Wayne fan. Say hey, play today first. I was, but the last 6 or 7 years have kind of.
A Millie? You fuck with a Millie? There's my 2 Lil Wayne songs I've got in my locker.
Say hey, play today is the first 5 under, and what number did you get?
First 5 under 5 at -110, and the first 5 -0.5 is at even money.
All right, and I'm going to see if I can beat those numbers just very quickly before we hand it over to Pistol Pete. The first 5 under 5s at +103 here at Pinnacle. You haven't tweeted these out?
Nope.
Okay, good. Say hey, play day there, and then the say hey, play of the day number 2 is the Brewers first 5 -0.5, and that first 5 -0.5 is +109. So you're getting plus spots on both of those available at Pinnacle. Pistol Pete, what do you think of Jose Bouquet's action and or Lil Wayne? It's up to you. Take the floor.
I'd like Lil Wayne first if you have a preference.
I mean, I was furiously, Google searching fireman to make some kind of joke, but I couldn't really find anything aside from saying I thought it was a George Strait song, but I'm not going to go with that one. What's his play again? What's his pick?
He's on the first 5 under 5 at +103, and the Brewers first 5 -0.5 at +109.
Yeah, I mean, Steele has great peripherals. But that's boosted by 2 great starts against Arizona, which is a team that's notoriously not good against lefties. And then Milwaukee he faced him once this year, and his first start of the year was great against Milwaukee, but then he faced him again, got touched a little bit. And Lauer has been good. His last 2 starts a little bit less so. I hope he cashes. I didn't bet this one. Makes me nervous, and I think I'm just gonna pass here. I did have Milwaukee team total over in the first game yesterday, and then the second game I took the Cubs to win, and they lost. So this one I'm just going to pass. There's a lot of uncertainty here with the way I look at things for both starters and both teams. So it's going to be a pass for me.
Yeah, I agree. I'm.
How's that win cam looking?
The wind's not bad right now.
Lovely.
Yeah, it's not too bad. I mean, it just picked up.
It is early. It is
And
early. I just remembered that.
Jeez, 4 MILFs too on the Wrigley
Ooh,
Field
Pete.
Cam. Yeah.
Pete,
with
get in there.
I can handle them.
with babies in tow.
Problem.
Yeah, babies ain't no problem for Pete.
No
Take your
problem.
kids.
Well,
How'd your wife?
say hey, plays of the day locked in. Give us that record, season record, and the Big Ragu will be the special guest. What's the season-long record right now at Say Hey?
176 and 162, up 17.29 units. And you know what matters more to me, Jim?
What's that?
Is that you had a winning day on Say Hey Plays yesterday.
Yeah.
That's what matters most to me.
Yeah, I really enjoyed breaking down those games. You did cut me off a couple times saying we're taking too long on the games.
That is true. You do take too long on these games sometimes. Yes. You know, Jim, we start at 5:30. The game started at 6:10. We can't talk about them forever. I'm sorry. Wow. I love all the appreciate the efforts, but we got to go. They call me Brisk Pace Bouquet.
Well, it's your show.
Wrong with one hole. One hole, the mumble capper. A lot of things.
Well, congratulations on your excellent record. Say Hey plays of the day, 5:30 p.m. Eastern, and the Big Ragu will be the guest. Keep up the good work, Jose, my guy. Pete, we move on. 8:05 p.m. Eastern, Tampa Bay Rays, 28-20, 11-9 on the road at Texas Rangers, 23-24, 11-12 at home. A game under 500. We're at Globe Life Field in Arlington, Texas. And let's see, is the weather appropriate to have the roof open? It is. Maybe it's too hot. We'll see if Jose can get the information whether the Rangers roof will be open. 94 Fahrenheit, 14.6 miles per hour out to left if the roof is open. Yarbrough versus Cy Martin Perez. Yarbrough coming off a 7-2 loss at home versus the Yankees. Wasn't his fault. 5 1/3, 2 hits, 3 runs, 2 earned runs, no homers, 5 Ks, 1 walk, and a 7-2 loss. 3.98 ERA, 1.38 WHIP. Martin Perez is being lights out. 1.60 ERA, 0.99 WHIP. Coming off a 4-1 win at the A's where he went 7 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run, no homer, 6 Ks, 2 walks. Rays are hitting 252, but just 689 OPS versus lefties. No power. Rangers hitting 240, 722 OPS versus lefties. Rays bullpen 3.34 ERA, 1.11 WHIP. Rangers bullpen 3.62 ERA, 1.27 WHIP. Let's take a look at the market move here, and there's been a big one. The Rays opened up as plus 115 dogs. That is gone. They're now even money, plus 100. From a totals look, it opened at minus 120 to the over 8. It's now minus 115 to the under 8. So a big move towards the under as well. We go over to the cash side of this Tampa Bay, Texas spot. So there's 5 spots where Sports Insight says there's line value. The 2 full ones I told you, the Royals and the Diamondbacks. Then next was the Reds. Then the 2 spots are the Oakland A's with Montas and the Texas Rangers with Martin Perez. There's 3,543 tickets evaluated here at Sports Insights, and there is 38% of the tickets on Texas and 27% of the cash. Okay, it just changed. 38% of tickets and 29% of the cash. Then 69% of tickets, 75% cash on the over, yet the market's moving towards the under. I found this a difficult game to cap. Can you shine some light on it for us here at Globe Life Rays Rangers?
Yeah, so you're saying that Sports Insight says that Texas has the value?
It does, yeah.
But yet there's been a big market move in favor of the Rays.
Well, it's interesting here, Pete, too, because when Sports Insights will have full line value on a spot, you always see less tickets and more cash on them. For instance, Arizona's at 32% of tickets, 50% of cash. Then Kansas City's at 31% of tickets, 75% cash. But with the half line value, it doesn't quite work that way. And all 3 teams that have the half line value are the opposite. So you have more.
So Texas only has half line value then.
Yes, yes, just a little under half. Yeah.
Yeah. So, Texas, Perez is obviously for real. He's a sinker baller, and obviously he is, sinker baller. When you're sinker ballers, or he throws like 40% sinkers, and when a sinker ball is working, it's just you become one of those pitchers that's just good game in and game out. He will almost certainly have a game or 2 or 5 in upcoming months where he gets blown up 3 innings and 8 runs. I don't know if this is going to be that day, but with someone like Perez pitching the way he's pitching, and then a big market move in favor of Tampa Bay. As you know, Jimmy the Bag, I think market moves are interesting, but I do take them a little bit with a grain of salt. I don't follow them. But in a situation like this is a situation where I'm a lot more keen on tailing it. I haven't bet this one yet, of course, at all. Franco, I think, is out for Tampa Bay again. Perez, a poor record against the Rays in his career, but he had a poor record against most teams in his career. If the line is moving towards Tampa Bay, that's very significant for me. And I guess I would wait until, 5 minutes before first pitch to tail that. But nope, definitely no play for me as of right now. But if the line is moving towards Tampa Bay in this kind of a scenario, that to me is pretty telling.
Big news here, and I agree. I find it a tricky spot. Big news here: Matty Ice taint play of the day is in, and makes me want to revisit my plan here. Taint play of the day: San Diego, St. Louis, full game over 8 at -120. Taint play of the day. San Diego, St. Louis, full game over 8 is sweet, sweet taint. All right, so now we have bets from Matty Ice, Pete, and Jose on that game. Matty Ice on the San Diego, St. Louis, full game over 8. Say Hayes on the Cards team total over 4. First 5 -0.5 for the Cards. And Pete's on the Cards first 5 on the money line at -115. And my initial look was the first 5 over 4.5. And what has kept me off of it at this point, and maybe this is a mistake, but the big bets have come in on the under. And I don't really trust Wainwright, but you guys do. So I'm comfortable staying off. I've got action on this board, and we've got more games left to cap. And your expectations of Martin Perez as we move throughout the season, Pete?
Typical. It's possible that he'll be Chen-Ming Wang-esque for people who remember him and just be, this great every game. But I suspect that he will be, up and down. Bet him with expecting volatility. If you're betting on him, probably take a run line. If you're betting against him, maybe take a run line, because when he has a bad start, it's going to be bad. It's not going to be, 6 innings, 3 runs. It's going to be 3 innings, 7 runs. So, but I expect him to continue to do well with the odd shellacking thrown in here and there. That would be my projection as of right now. Again, classic sinker baller profile. He's clearly found a way to make it work in a major way. Whether he's been working with a pitching coach or something, I'm not exactly sure. I haven't had time to do deep research into why he's been so good, but I definitely think it's for real.
Trembolone, possibly.
No, not with the sinker ball. It sounds to me, it feels like a pitching coach. It's more like a pitching coach ayahuasca or sacred toad, ceremony, where he's finally figured out how to throw that sinker baller and they just drive it into the ground even though they know it's coming. No, I would say probably Martin Perez. I would more likely ayahuasca than Trenbolone.
Let's move on. Pete and I have no action in the Rays-Rangers spot. 8:40 p.m. Eastern. Miami Marlins 19-27, 9-15 on the road to the Colorado Rockies. 22-26, 15-11 at home. We're at Coors Field in Denver, Colorado, home of the Coors Field fade. A bet that I have not made in a long time. Let's take a look at the weather in Colorado. Drizzle and cool temperatures. Very cool. Drizzle and light rain throughout the game. Is there a possibility that this game gets moved? No. Let's see if RotoWire thinks there's a possibility that this game gets moved. Dealing with the drizzle and light rain. No, 25% rain here. So no, they expect this game to go. Let's move over to the line history in this Rockies spot here. And I don't know if I'm right about the pitcher. I have Edward Cabrera. I was wrong on the last one. I have Edward Cabrera, the 24-year-old Dominican who pitched in the league last year. Pete, do you have him as the pitcher now for the?
Yes. Yeah.
Well, okay, good. A 5-cent move to the Rockies. They opened up minus 120. They're now minus 125. This total opened up at 10.5. And it didn't come out till 8:55 this morning. So look at this line movement. Interesting. Opens up at 10.5, moves to 11 immediately. In 10 minutes. And then 9 minutes after that, moves back to 10.5. 20 minutes after that, or excuse me, I should say 54 minutes after that, it moves to 10. So it went from 10.5 to 11, 10.5. Now we are at 10. It was 10 at a pick 'em even, but now it's 10 cents juice to the over. So a lot of movement on this total. Let's see what the cash tells us in this spot. And there won't be a lot of tickets counted. 3,127. 43% of the tickets, 47% of cash on the Marlins. And then it's a coin flip for the total. 45% of tickets on the under, 51% cash on the under. But we've seen it move down a full run from its highest spot. D. Jenkins says Marlins are a mess right now. Not sure what to expect from them. Put up 1 run in Coors yesterday. And Piff's perfect parlay says Dodgers in the over, but the house and the boat. We will talk about that game here shortly. But right now we're talking about Edward Cabrera, the 24-year-old Dominican. In 2021, he started 7 games in the show. He did not look very good, but he could get strikeouts. He went 0-3, 5.81 ERA, a very high whip at 1.63, 26 in the third, but 28 strikeouts. Unfortunately, 19 walks, so not the K to walk ratio you'd like. This year in AAA Jacksonville, he's 1-2 with a 4.56 ERA, 1.35 whip. Again, striking out people at his leisure. 32 Ks in 23 2/3, but 12 walks. But just 2 homers allowed in the 23 2/3. But he's not been dominating down there. And then you have Herman Marquez, who's coming off another ugly performance. 6 innings, 6 hits, 5 earned runs, 2 Ks, 3 walks, 7-3 loss at the Nats. Marquez has a 6.30 ERA, 1.58 whip on the season. Marlins first righties 257.32 OPS. Rockies first righties 249, 697 OPS. They smash lefties, but not righties. Marlins bullpen 3.59 ERA, 1.29 whip. Rockies bullpen worst in the league, 5.04 ERA, 1.44 whip. Take it away, Pistol Pete. We're in Coors for Marlins-Rockies.
Yeah, unfortunately, these baseball lines are very, very tough. I think this is going to have to be another pass for me. Marquez continues to get hit, but he's not really an auto fade. I mean, if you look at his last start, he got shelled in the first inning and then had a string of good innings. So I'm not sure what to expect from going forward. I'm definitely it's hard for me to pull the trigger betting on him, so I'm not going to do that here. I'm not going to take Colorado. And then Cabrera, very similar. Obviously, huge, highly touted, hyped guy with gets flashy strikeouts, but overall gives up runs and has not had success in the majors. But then again, Colorado is a team that's not really hitting well right now. So it's going to be a pass for me. There's no way I can take the under in this spot, but there's no way I could take the over either with the offenses involved. If you force me to make a play here, I would take the under on the total. And if you force me to make a play on a side, I would probably take Colorado, just because Marquez is vulnerable, but clearly, is showing that he can string together shutout innings, if not, without the big blow up in every start. So my free play leans would be Colorado in the under, but I definitely haven't bet it and probably won't.
It is not a spot that I want to be involved with either, and the market movement on the total is a little confusing. Let's move on. 3 games left on this MLB card, then we'll review all action. 9:40 p.m. Eastern. Atlanta Braves 23-26, 9-12 on the road at the Arizona Diamondbacks. 24-26, 13-15 at home. We're at Chase Field in Phoenix, Arizona. Charlie Morton going up against Humberto Castellanos. Morton, the enigma that is Charlie Morton. 3-3, 5.28 ERA, 1.53 whip, 41 Ks and 44 in the third. 41 Ks, 20 walks. Not the K walk ratio we're used to. 5 home runs. His last start was an 8-4 win at home versus Philly. Went 4 in the third, 9 hits, 4 earned runs, 1 homer, 4 Ks, 1 walk. He is a tricky character to figure out. In his mid-30s, we saw his velocity increase, and we did think Trembolone or of form was involved. Now he's 38 years old and he's slipping, Pete.
Mhm.
What are your expectations of Charlie Morton here tonight at Arizona and moving forward?
I think he'll be vulnerable. I did make a decent sized bet on the Arizona first 5 team total over at 1.5 minus 150. Now I'm seeing it's up to 155 at Heritage, and looking at some other, it's 2.5 plus 128 at Pinnacle. If it loses, that's okay. But I think he's still taking Trenbolone. I just think it's not really working, and maybe he's adding in, a little HGH and a little insulin and everything, and it's just not working. So we can make that official. It's now minus 155 at Heritage. I'll take that. Arizona first 5 team total over 1.5 minus 155. I'll make that an official play. I would also be leaning first half over as well because Castellanos should be vulnerable. Atlanta, not as good as they should be on paper offensively, but I think they should be able to get to him for a bit. So I also bet the first 5 over a little bit, lean that way. Officially, let's make Arizona first 5 team total over a play to start. And that's my take on the game.
Yeah, it makes sense. The roof is open in Arizona this evening. It will be closed tomorrow. So from a weather perspective, 95 Fahrenheit at first pitch, dies down to 87 by the end of the game. 9 miles per hour left to right and dies down to 4.8. So the wind not too big of a deal. Let's go to line history here. Line history in the Braves-Diamondbacks spot, where Pete is on the first 5 team total over. We have the favorite, the Braves, opening up at minus 165. There's been a 15-cent move towards the Diamondbacks. So the Braves are now minus 150, and the Diamondbacks are now plus 130. We go over to the total. It opened up at 9, and 2.5 hours ago, it moved to 9.5. So that's where it stands right now at 9.5. Let's take a look at where the money is in this Arizona spot here. Pull it up. Oh, and this is that second game I told you where there's full line value on the Diamondbacks. We've seen a 15-cent move towards them. 6,935 tickets in. 32% of the tickets and 51% of the cash is on Castellanos and those Diamondbacks. And like Pete was saying, leaning towards the over, 43% of tickets on the over and 71% of cash is on that over. Yes, Billy, the roof is open. Thank you, Billy Friedrich, for the help getting us with likes and all that good stuff. It means a ton to us. All right. So the market movement towards the over, it's gone from 9 to 9.5. You are on the team total first 5 over 1.5. Juiced.
Yeah.
Is that the only thing you want to move on in this game?
I'd also be leaning Arizona team total over just full game, but Atlanta has such a strong pen that's a little bit iffy. But I'd be leaning that way and leaning first 5 over as well. But I bet that. I'll hold off for now on that though. Let's just keep it safe.
Did you get 4.5 when you bet that?
No, I think I got 5. Yeah, I got a shitty minus 105. But should be a lot of volatility involved here anyway. Yeah, let's just stick with the Arizona first 5 team total over 1.5 minus 155. Morton, I think he's cooked.
Well, I think you have talked me into the first 5 over 5. That's available still at that number that you got it at, minus 105, which I like. I will be moving on that. First 5 over 5 minus 105. That's an addition for me. There's a couple additions now on the card that we will all review together here in a second. Let's move on to the second to last game on the card and great analysis there, Pete. Here we go. 9:40 p.m. Eastern. Houston Astros 31-18, 17-12 on the road at the Oakland Athletics 20-31, 7-18 at home. We're at Oakland Coliseum in Oakland, California. We'll start with the weather in this one. Opening pitch, it is 73 Fahrenheit, 11.9 miles per hour to right field. Dies down, though, to 5.4 by the end of the game. Go over to the line history here in the Oakland Javier Montas spot. We have the Astros opening up minus 145, a 10-cent move towards the A's. So Astros now sitting at minus 135. A's now at plus 115. And this total was at 7. It opened at 7, minus 120 to the over, and money just came in on the under all morning. So we've moved it to 6.5. The total is now 6.5. And let's take a look at the cash flow here. As I told you guys earlier, this is the final spot on the board with Sports Insight saying that there is a legitimate line value in the squad, and that's the A's. They give it half line value. So again, full line value with Lynch and Castellanos, slightly over half with the Reds, and half, maybe slightly tiny bit, a sliver under half with the Rangers and the A's. With the A's, there's 6,330 tickets in, 25% of the tickets, 20% of cash on the A's, 28% of tickets, and 50% of cash on the under, which makes sense as it's moved to the under. Javier, 3-2, 2.43 ERA, 0.97 WHIP, 37 innings, 48 Ks, 11 walks, 3 home runs. He's looked awesome. His last start at home versus the Guardians, I was all over the Astros first 5, -1, and full game -1.5, and he took care of business. Maybe this isn't the one he took care of. No, because they only won 2-1, so this isn't the game I'm thinking about. Okay. 5 2/3, 3 hits, no earned runs, 9 Ks, 1 walk, and 2-1 win at home versus Guardians. Frankie Montas last start, 7 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run, 11 Ks and 2 walks, and a 4-1 loss at home versus the Rangers. He looked very good in that spot. 3.28 ERA, 0.99 WHIP. Astros versus righties, 236, 721 OPS. A's versus righties, just 207, 586 OPS, worst numbers in the league. Astros bullpen now the best in the league, 2.48 ERA, 1.11 WHIP. A's bullpen 3.84 ERA, 1.35 WHIP. Take it away, Pistol Pete here, Astros, A's.
So Sports Insight is saying that that there's value on the A's.
It is, yes.
Yeah, it looks to me like a good spot for Houston. Obviously, Oakland is terrible against righties, and Javier is legitimately excellent. Both started. This looks like a wash to my eye as far as the starting pitching is concerned. But Houston has a much better pen and a rested pen, and obviously a much better lineup against righties. I'm not sure why there would be value on Oakland, and I'm not averse to betting on Oakland in spots, but this doesn't look like one of them to me. I did take a tiny shot with the Oakland team total under 3 at like -135 or something like that. I didn't take 2.5 at plus money. But Montas is off a great start. Looks based on my numbers a little bit less reliable than Javier. The profiles are roughly even, but more consistency with Montas. And again, much better lineup and pen for Houston. I get Javier in his career has bad numbers against Oakland, which I don't usually pay that much attention to, just because even if you're talking about the same hitters, the matchup can change so differently from year to year. But admittedly, he has a horrible career record against Oakland. But I'd be leaning Houston here. The only bet I made though was a small bet on the Oakland full game team total under at like 3 at -135. Again, a very small bet. I might be on something else bigger, but yeah, it's interesting that the market's liking Oakland.
Yeah, and same with Jimmy Gomez says he's not done yet, but so far he's leaning towards the A's first 5 money line. Shout out to Jimmy Gomez as America celebrated. We all celebrated Memorial Day for U.S. as well, and there he is, Jimmy Gomez, represented America with the armed forces, and we love you, Jimmy Gomez. I've had the pleasure of hanging out with my guy Jimmy as well. Just quality through and through. Jimmy Gomez, thinking about you on Memorial Day. Let's move into the final game.
Actually, you know what? You know what, Jim?
Yeah, buddy.
You know what, Jimmy the Bag? Let's say it's such a low line. I'll throw it on. I'll throw on Houston, and we'll do it -1. Let's just do it -1. What the hell? Let's just go for it. We'll make that official. Houston -1. That's looking like it's about plus 100 at Heritage right now. You want to do that? Let's do it.
All right, you are in, Pete. Astros.
Actually, it's plus 101. Plus 101. That's what it is at Heritage right now. Houston -1 plus 101.
You are locked in, my friend. Let's go to the final game on the card, and it brings us back to yesterday's spectacular bet for Jose on the Pittsburgh Pirates. Here we have Mitch Keller, the great Helen Mitch Keller on the bump. Man, she looks tough up there. going up against Julio Urias. Dodger Stadium in Los Angeles, California. We're in Chavez Ravine. I was egged not very far from this very stadium on Echo Park Boulevard. And also, interesting fact, when I was egged, they didn't even hide themselves, Pete.
Mm-hmm.
They just fired the eggs and then stared at me.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and then they said, "What's up, dude?"
Absolutely. Absolutely.
The only person in the community that would smile at me was the security guard at the bank. There's only other, and whenever I go in the restaurant, it'd be all Spanish, and then I'd order something and they'd say it in English, and then everything would just stop. Yes, I did Cheshire Cat. I lived in Echo Park. It was very easy for my stepbrother. He just drove off because it's on that kind of a mountain, right? He drove off the other side onto the highway, but not me. I took the 25-cent bus down Echo Park Boulevard, and I ran 4 different times. I sprinted away from somebody. But let's get back to Dodger Stadium here in Los Angeles, California. Let's get to work here. We have 72 Fahrenheit. First pitch starting to warm up in LA, being a little chilly last week, starting to warm up everywhere. 5.5 miles per hour out to right center, dies down to 3.1 miles per hour. And thank you. Thank you very much for the Adono. I don't know how much that is. I have no idea, but thank you. That's all I can say is thank you. It could be enormous amounts of money. He could have just given us like $10K. I don't know. But whatever you did, donate, thank you very much for the kind gesture. What do you think? You think it's like $10K?
I think it's more likely 50 cents, but we'll check it out right now. What is that?
Is that yen?
Yes.
Oh,
it's $9.74.
How much is it?
$9.74.
Wow. Hey, I like that. Man, respect. Thank you very much for the kind dono. I love it. I love it, man. Thank you. Very mysterious donation. And
we love a mysterious donation. Those are my favorite ones.
I respect it very, very much. Thank you. I don't know how to pronounce your name. I won't try.
Don't, Jim. It's 2022. Don't do it. It'll get you a laugh, but it'll also get you massively canceled. Don't do it, Jim. Don't do it.
I won't. I won't say anything negative about the Japanese people. I've learned a lot from that. Do you know, Pete, that they have no handles on their cups? Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that.
They have no handles on their cups. And I asked the Japanese person, I said, why do you have no handles on the cups? And they said, if the cup is too hot to touch, it's too hot to drink.
That's actually very smart. That's actually very smart.
It's genius.
It's genius. It's brilliant.
They are so far ahead of us, Pete.
It's amazing. Wow.
They are so far ahead of us.
Can't believe none of us ever even thought of that. Yeah, hell yeah.
No, who would have thought? By the way, Jimmy, we're raising it again today. We're pulling out the Jolly Roger, and we're going to pull it on the flag, and we're just going to raise it. And we're going with the Pirates today, money line again.
Ooh, wow. Now, after cashing, JPG says, what's more ghetto, Parkdale or Echo Park? It's different. Echo Park was scarier. But that's a longer conversation.
I'd like to hear this conversation one day.
Well, Echo Park was scarier, without a doubt. The problem, because we all wore baggy clothes back then, right? So
you still do.
It's a Hispanic neighborhood, and we were all dressed the same, except I clearly was a white boy, and that didn't help me.
That's not going to do it.
That did not help me.
That's an easy target.
Now, do you remember when our Mr. Gokster learned to not call Spanish people buddy?
Mm-hmm.
I learned a similar. Oh, there he is, Nasty Nate on his birthday, and we have the birthday pics. Nasty Nate, we gave you a shout out off the top. Nasty Nate in the house after his midnight drunken fishing. But I learned a similar thing when I was down at Echo Park Boulevard. I called I would call people brother. I'd be like, yeah, thanks, brother. And then I learned very quickly that these are not my brothers, and they would prefer me never to use that. They would just stop everything. And then I had a friend who was like, "Thanks, Holmes," and he was treated with class. And I was like, "Oh, okay, okay."
Yeah,
And
Holmes is distinctly Hispanic.
I've never called anybody brother since. I learned that lesson. I've learned that no one, they're not your brother.
Same with buddy. Just take it out of your lexicon.
I never used buddy. I do a bit actually. I do what now. I try to stop myself. I think of Mr. Gokster being disrespected, and causing fights.
After Mr. Gokster said it, I think you were on like a 3-day bender of saying it, and now I think you just got it out of your system.
I do. I do. Okay, I apologize for these stories, but
I like.
There's lots. But
Peter, do you like them?
I'm sorry?
Do you like these stories, Pete? It seems like you're having a good time.
Oh, yes, I do. Yes, I do.
All right, let's go. So, Jose, are you making this an official pick then, or do you just want it for your say? Hey,
no, I'm making it official for that too. I'm betting it. They're both official. I might as well reap the benefits of these rewards.
Wow. Thanks, young suave, my guy. The hat's dope, but Pryor, are you kidding me? Wait, let me. Here we go.
I'll be honest with you. It's been like I don't know how long with us doing the show. It took me about like 4 months to figure out who that was.
Oh, well, we don't.
My brother also has a Richard Pryor shirt, and I also had no idea who was on that for a while. I realized like that's the same guy, and then I started doing some research. I figured it out. Funny.
Okay. Okay. Pirates, Dodgers, Mitch Keller. We'll find an official line for Jose. You haven't tweeted it out though, right? No, I haven't. Okay, so we'll get him an official line. Mitch Keller, 1-5, 6.05 ERA, 1.58 WHIP. He has not looked good so far this year. He's coming off a 3 1/3 performance in the 10-5 win at home versus the Rockies. 5 hits, 1 earned run. He didn't look as atrocious. Urias is pitching very well. He ran into Fedde in the night of Fedde's life, but that back-to-back performances against the Phillies, the first where he dealt with some bad fielding, got rocked. Then he had another start in Philadelphia, and he was excellent. He's a quality pitcher. There's no doubt about that. Billy Friedrich finding a plus 304. I will look up that for a second. And he says Pryor, the greatest stand-up comedian of all time. I agree. I would agree with that. Last start, Urias, 6 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run, no homer, 3 Ks, 3 walks, and 1-0 loss to the Nats. Pirates first lefties, 218, 644 OPS. Dodgers first righties, 258, 790 OPS. Pirates bullpen 4.27 ERA, 1.36 WHIP. Dodgers bullpen 3.06 ERA, 1.10 WHIP. So Billy Friedrich found a plus 304 for Jose. It makes me nervous that he's going right back to the well, but a plus 304 is 24 cents better than what Bet365 is offering. They're offering just plus 280, and there's been a 50-cent move to the Dodgers. 50-cent move. Wow. From a totals perspective, opened up at 8, now at 8.5. And when we go over to where the cash is in this spot, we have 5,926 tickets in, 83% of the tickets, 85% of the cash on the Dodgers, 46% of the tickets, 74% cash on the under. Take it away here, Pete. Final game on the board, Pirates-Dodgers.
So Jose's on Pittsburgh here?
Yes, he cashed with Pittsburgh last week, and he's on them again.
So did I. I had Pittsburgh last night as well. I had first three and first 5, but I had them yesterday. I don't like him. I don't like him here, though. I'm not exactly sure why he likes them. Urias, I think, will be good at least for 3 or 5, and I'd also be leaning, Dodgers first 5 team total over as well. I was all over. Well, not all over. I was nervously on Pittsburgh first 3 and first 5 yesterday, but here I'm all over a bounce back from the Dodgers. Obviously, I don't love the line, but I did take it anyway. Small. Bet size appropriately, and I wouldn't be averse to giving Dodgers maybe first 5 team total over, maybe even full game team total over as well, even at 4.5. But I'm definitely not liking Pittsburgh here, and I'm wondering why Jose is. I mean, the line is massive, of course, and it's moved, and I got it before the move, but I don't like this spot for Pittsburgh at all.
I'll explain it to you, Pete.
Okay.
It's pretty simple, and. You said yourself baseball is the most weighted coin flip game of them all. I have a mantra is that I don't believe that anyone in baseball should be a minus 300 favorite. And I've decided since, I guess, yesterday officially, is that no matter who's on the mound, no matter what team it is, if you are above a minus 300, I will be fading you no matter what. And my whole thing is I only had to hit 1 of 3 of those so far. Or 1 of 3 to make money, obviously, and we're 2-0 so far. So I probably lose tonight. It was, it's hilarious. Their Pirates are terrible against lefties, all that good stuff. But I said the same shit yesterday, and it cashed. So we're raising it again, Pete.
Jimmy the Bag. These fucking kids think they know everything, don't they? These fucking kids think they know everything. Let me tell you something, Jose Bouquet. Back in my day, there was a guy named Clayton Kershaw. Ever heard of him? Now, when he was in his prime, he won, I forgot how many games in a row it was, but we all saw it coming. They could not make the line high enough for the Dodgers when Clayton Kershaw was in his prime. They would make it like minus 300. Then they make like 350. Then make it 400. I don't even remember what the numbers were. But the Dodgers won like 25 in a row or whatever it was. They were like 23-2. Looking back on it, the fair line should have been like minus 750 or whatever for the Dodgers in all those games, and it wasn't a fluke. It was Clayton Kershaw in his prime. So these fucking kids who think they know everything is like, oh, no baseball team should ever be minus 300. I agree. You got to be very careful when ascribing value to a minus 300 favorite in baseball, but it'll happen. It can happen. I'm not saying it's tonight, but I'm just saying you don't know everything. I know you think you do. Like when I was your age, I thought I knew everything too. Now I still think I know everything, but I really do. That's the big difference.
Oh, that was it was beautifully put. I just think so. I didn't bet Game 7 of Rangers Hurricanes. We didn't have a show, and I was like, "Why? I don't need. Look how much money I've just made. I don't need to do shit." And I was sitting back as a winner, and I'm not sure why Jose's not just sitting back as a winner. He's going right back to the well. Makes me a little nervous. But if he wants to blind bet all teams at minus 3, fade all teams that are minus 300, it worked very, very well in NHL. So,
you know what? I'll take the Dodgers first 5 team total over. I think they're going to hit Keller. I think they'll hit him early, and I'll take the Dodgers first 5. It's minus 140 right now at Heritage. Let's see what Pinnacle has. See if we can get a better line there. But we'll make that an official play. I agree. It's just minus 350 or whatever it is for the Dodgers first 5 is a little bit juicy. I think I'd prefer just the first 5 team total over for an official play.
Over what's the number, Pete?
I'm sorry. 2.5 minus 140. LA Dodgers first 5 team total over 2.5 minus 140. We can make that official.
You are locked in, Pistol Pete. Loshak, you are locked in. All right. Let's review all action as things get a little quieter as we move forward. When no NHL, no NBA. I do have lots of stories of Echo Park in LA and the differences between here. What's more, one of the things here is that everybody in the community always sees me with my daughter and my son. They see me as just that. People care about you in tougher communities when you have a family. If you're just some punk kid, they egg you. So those are the differences here. All right, let's review all action, Pete, in the National Hockey League. Ron Crawford spreadsheet play days on Colorado in regulation. I am on the Avalanche -1 to keep with my 10-1 glorious run. I think it's the best bet on the board. And you heard Dennis Garcia's confidence with the Avalanche. Pete, you have moved on the Avalanche -1 and I didn't do this right. And the Avalanche team total over 3.5 at -130.
Yes.
Then you moved on the first period under 1.5 at +100. I will be betting the under 5.5 in Rangers Tampa. I will be betting that, within the hour. I want that -110. That's NHL here. Dabby Cab in MLB is on the Angels first 5 +0.5. Padres team total over 3.5, and the Braves-Diamondbacks first 5 over 5 at -105. For me, I made 4 bets before we arrived here today for the show. I'm on the Blue Jays -1. I'm on the Royals first 5 plus 110, San Francisco, Philadelphia first 5 over 5 at minus 105, and the Reds first 5 plus 105. And I do have a couple additions. And don't forget, we are closing the show on Pistol Pete Loshak's birthday picks. However he wants to handle those birthday picks, if he wants one for all of them or individual ones, that is up to him. And if the Twins win game 1, Pete, comfortably, do we take Joey Wentz at least first 5 with Detroit in game 2?
Maybe you have to see what the lineups are and what yeah, maybe. That's okay. I can't say for certain right now.
Pete gets his card started with the no-run first inning in White Sox-Blue Jays. Ron Crawford is on the Blue Jays, and as I said, I'm on the -1. Then the first 5 under 5, I may get to the well with in Washington, New York Mets. I know it sounds like a horrific bet, but I think I may get to the well with. The wrong hole play of the day is the New York Mets on the run line at plus 115. Then we get to 7:45 p.m. Padres Cards, and there's a ton of action on this game. Matty Ice Taint play of the day. San Diego St. Louis full game over 8 at minus 120. Pete's on the Cards first 5 at minus 115, and Seihei plays of the day are the Cards team total over 4 at minus 110, and the first 5 minus a half at plus 118. The next Seihei plays of the day are the first 5 under 5 at plus 103 in Milwaukee, Chicago, and the Brewers first 5 minus a half at plus 109. Rays, Rangers, we've stayed off as we did with the Marlins-Rockies. Pete gets back to business here in Braves-Diamondbacks. He's on the first 5 team total over 1.5 for the D-backs. Diamondbacks, first 5 team total over 1.5 minus 155. And I'm going to move on the first 5 over 5 at minus 105. That will be an addition. So I have 2 additions. Pete's also on the Astros -1 at plus 101. He's on the Dodgers first 5 team total over 2.5 at minus 140. And the final Seihei play of the day is the Pirates plus 304, Pete. And we're in the books, my friend. We are in the books. How you feel about birthday time? Because we have Fap Win's birthday this week. We have D. Jenkins' birthday yesterday. We have Nasty Nate's birthday right now. We have Robert Freeney's birthday right now. Michael Anderson's birthday right now. So a lot of birthday action.
How many is that? 4? How many did you say? How many?
That's 5. That's 5, my friend.
Who's the other one? I have Fap Win, Robert Freeney, Michael Anderson, Nasty Nate. Who's the 5th?
D. Jenkins, whom we love dearly. His birthday was yesterday. He said, I don't know if that counts, but shout out to the May birthdayers. It is time, Pete.
All right. Let's give one for each, and we'll go for a 5-0 sweep of these picks. So the D. Jenkins is the one whose birthday was yesterday?
Yes, it was.
All right. So then we'll make him wait for his birthday pick to cash, and we'll give him Tampa Bay, New York Rangers, first period under 1.5. Tampa Bay, New York Rangers, first period under 1.5. Happy birthday to you, D. Jenkins.
Happy birthday pick. There it is. All right.
Okay.
That is D. Yeah, who are you moving on next?
Let's see. All right, Nasty Nate. What's up, Nasty Nate? Shout out to Nasty Nate. Such a supporter of me, always saying nice things to me for years and years and years. I really appreciate it. Happy birthday to you, Nasty Nate. Last week, he was so eager for this, so I hope this one wins. I hope to God this one wins. All right, what should we give Nasty Nate for his birthday? What should we give Nasty Nate?
Chlamydia.
We'll give him... Colorado's going to put up points. Colorado's going to score, right? What is Edmonton going to slow him down? We'll give him Colorado Avalanche team total over 3.5. Colorado Avalanche team total over 3.5. It's minus 130 at Will Hill right now. I guess we'll go with that one, right? That line, right?
Locked in for Nasty Nate.
You know Colorado's going to come out and be like, all right, we're gonna put up our goals, right, Jimmy the Bag? I mean, you like Colorado, Jim. If you could have Colorado team total over, Edmonton team total under, free play, which would you take?
I was staring at both of those spots, and because I think that the empty net goal could easily become a part of this. By the way, the Avalanche have moved to minus 200 and plus 125. Wow, since our show started. Wow. Big move.
What line?
So the Avalanche have moved. I didn't even bet it that long ago.
They got bet up, huh?
Yeah. I got minus 185 and plus 130. It's now minus 200 and plus 125. So not that big of a move, but a definite big move. Let me just take a look at that very quickly because I'm curious about that question as well. I'm just going to go over to this team total right here, and I would take the under 2.5 for the Oilers at plus 115. I think.
Wow, really? Okay.
Yeah, I'd prefer that than a minus 145 because I think that the Avalanche over 3.5 is a likelier casher.
I mean, they're an offensive juggernaut of a team, right, Jim, or not?
They are, but I wonder if they focus solely on beating up and tiring out McDavid. And if they do that, I'm curious. I'm really, really curious about this first game. I'll be watching it so closely. Every time McDavid's on the ice, who's on him? And I think Kadri will be on him. And I know we went back and forth as with the chat as to me believing that Kadri can slow him down. So we'll see.
All right. Well, I'm taking the Avs team total over 3.5. That's for Nasty Nate's birthday. All right. Robert Freeney says, Loshak, I need a birthday pick for today. Plus, I need my rent paid. Okay, thanks. And if you need your rent paid,
TikTok, Pete.
Yeah, I guess we got to go with the safest bet here, which would just be maybe a fade of old Charlie Morton. I don't know if maybe he's adding on some Decadurabolin or some Anavar or whatever, but I think we fade him and I think it'll be okay. So let's give him Arizona Diamondbacks first 5 team total over 1.5 minus 155. Arizona Diamondbacks team total over 1.5 minus 155. Hopefully he can pay his rent with that. Hopefully his rent isn't too high and he can won't run up against limits on first 5 team total overs. Okay, that's the third one. Jimmy the Bag.
Locked in. So we have Fap and Michael Anderson.
Fap win. It's my birthday this week. Can I get a Loshak birthday pick? Of course you can. Fap win. And win or lose, happy birthday to you, Fap win. All right, let's give Fap win. Let's give Fap win. Since it's not his birthday, let's give him just a solid play. That might not be a lock, but it's just a solid play, I think. And that will be St. Louis Cardinals first 5 innings, minus 120. St. Louis first 5 innings. Since it's his birthday week, not his day, we'll give him maybe the least locky of all of these. Still a solid play, I think. Happy birthday to you, Fap win. Okay.
I like it. We're running hot. And now we have Michael Anderson.
Michael Anderson. Today is his birthday. Happy birthday to you, Michael Anderson. And let's give him, LA Dodgers off a loss. Let's give him first 5 innings, team total over 2.5 minus 140. Happy birthday to you, Michael Anderson. That's a solid pick. I think that cashes. Maybe not in the first 3 innings, but by the 5th inning, I think it cashes. Michael Anderson, happy birthday, LA Dodgers, first 5 team total over 2.5 minus 140 at Heritage.
Beautiful work, Pete. And Fap Win has promised to wager his weekly lube fund.
Okay, good. That's like bet sizing appropriately. That's what I like to hear.
Oh no, he uses a lot of lube.
Oh, does he?
Yeah,
God. I just sort of assumed he's like, how much could he possibly use? I know how much I use. It's not that much. You know what I'm saying? But maybe I shouldn't assume everyone's like me, I guess.
The 5 birthday picks are the D. Jenkins, Tampa Bay, New York Rangers, first period under 1.5. Nasty Nate, Avalanche, team total over 3.5. Then we go up to Robert Freeney, Diamondbacks, team total over 1.5. Then we have Fat Wins, Cards, first 5. And we close with the look for Michael Anderson, Dodgers, first 5, team total over 2.5 at minus 140. There we go. Pistol Pete, spectacular work today. I enjoy these Tuesdays immensely, and I'm excited about the rest of the week. Big shows coming up. Noli Knows back in action with us tomorrow, and then Hunter Engelhardt on Thursday. So we have 2 different MLB cappers opening up their accounts here on the show, and we have a ton of my Low Bag Baseball Records is a full worksheet now on its own, and it's fun to watch. And everybody's been very, very good right now. Connor Mack leading the way, Dabby Cab in second with Big Ragu right there. Those are the top 3 guys we've had in MLB on the show. Pete, spectacular work, my friend. Any last words for the Cappers supporting the show?
Hell yeah. Great show today. 5 happy birthdays. Happy birthday to all of you. Be thankful for what you got. Be thankful just to be alive. Love yourself. Love your life. That's it. Let's get this cash.
Get this cash. Let's say, Halos Bookmakers.